So
I
while
should
Nate's getting his...
probably actually go to the site, huh? That would be helpful.
Generally a good idea.
No, dude,
There
you
it
gotta
is.
do it blind. Fucking blind speed run of D&D. New category, let's go.
Well, the problem with that is you can't ever do the same story twice. Like, so you can't really keep a record. I mean, I guess you could technically. Whatever. Anyway.
Shortest campaign, go.
Probably have to be a module, and you're not going to get modules out of me. Ever.
Because you're not smart.
Oh, it looks so
No,
bad.
the modules are for people who don't want to come up with their own stuff.
I forgot to put doors on all those.
That's fine. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, you're a module.
Oh, this is supposed to be a village? I thought it was like a shipping yard, and those were shipping containers.
I don't blame you.
Um,
That's like 10 minutes worth of work.
Yeah,
From somebody
it's...
that's
honestly,
not
I thought we were looking at a
super
circuit
great
board.
at math, at just
It's
art.
it's still a lot better than what I could do. So
Like next time, like a rough layout I might be able to do one that's a little better for that.
Yeah. Well then... Oh, wait, actually...
Because the big ones are the factories.
I think there is one that I would still need a layout for, but I might actually like really push for myself to find that one on my own or make it on my own or something, because spoilers if nothing else. So
Even with the layout of the place.
well, within the kingdom that y'all are in, the only city that y'all haven't been to is a port town.
Kurik.
No, Kurik
That's
was
where we started.
Oh, right.
Kurik was the crime town, basically.
Oh, that's right. I'm thinking of the other Kurik.
Oh, Kurik was okay. Anyway, but yeah, and that knowledge and that knowledge on its own is actually enough to contextually make the other bit. Any information I would give you for the other map, I would need, like, potentially very spoilery.
Okay.
So yeah. Any hoozle. When we last left off, y'all were heading into the RPG luncher, and right in front of y'all was a couple, the lady of which was pregnant, and they had a clockwork servant. And they were going in right ahead of you and talking kind of jovially between themselves. So yeah, I suppose y'all would go in. Y'all would end up seeing them just kind of go and find themselves a table. Seems like it's a seat yourself kind of thing. Let's see. There would be, as you come in, there'd be kind of like a bar area, or like just like a barricade kind of thing. It's not really like a place that they do any kind of serving or anything, but like it looks like meals are being handed over from the cooks to the serving to the waitresses and such. And so people just kind of come in, seat themselves, and the waitresses come to tables and help the customers like as they come in. It's that kind of diner situation. Excuse me.
Nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. So yeah, let's see. But yeah, that would take up like, shoot, how do I measure? I know what I can do. Okay.
Well, see, you take a ruler.
Draw shape. That'll work. Okay. So if this yellowish colored square here towards the middle of the map, if that's the floor space of the diner, if you're measuring, it's irrelevant. Don't worry about it. It's absolutely not exact. But if that's the floor space of the diner, then this would basically be like the cooking area. So then there'd be like table, table.
Time to move you to the bigger.
It'd basically be laid out about like that. It's a small place, but and there's not really any customers aside from the couple that came in right ahead of you. They would have kind of gotten themselves a little bit cozy. Oh, okay, that's what happens. All right, but yeah, and that one that has a little spot on it, they would have gotten themselves cozy like right there. And they'd sit down. Their servant would be kind of like standing over by the wall, just like facing out towards the door where y'all would have come in, like right here. No, right here. Yeah. And so that's about the situation. So y'all would have come in right behind them. Where would y'all like to sit?
I don't care. Pick a seat.
Let's sit right next to the couple. Why not?
Okay. All right. So y'all take a seat over there, right next to him.
As we sit down, Margaret would actually be like trying to nonchalantly listen in on the conversation if they're having one.
Okay.
Damn it! You stole my idea.
Well, first of all, the waitress would come by and take their orders and stuff. The lady actually kind of rather excitedly orders the actual RPG luncher, the restaurant's namesake. Seems that she's pretty happy, pretty fond of it. After they get their order taken and the waitress goes to deliver it, they would go into discussing names for the child. Like, start with the husband. He'd kind of be like, "Yeah, I've been thinking," like, and he'd list off like a few very elven-sounding names. And the lady would be like, "Those are nice. They're nice. I was really thinking Norin though."
Either that or
And
Oliver.
and so the husband kind of laughs at Norin. He's like, "You want to name our son the Power Cosmic?" So she's like, "Well, I hadn't really looked into the meaning of it, but I don't know. It sounded nice. I like it." And they would kind of go on like that for a little while.
That makes me suspicious.
What?
Because there was another dude what had a name of Norin earlier.
Three of them. There was a kid named Norin. The dude I beat the shit out of named Norin.
Well, I remembered the kid and then I forgot about the other dude. Shut up, I can remember
Let's let our
things.
friend here have a.
Oh, okay. We're both clicking the gear. Okay. So, all
It's
right.
still saying huge, like all of the information there,
That's
which I'm fine. Oh, it's the little I next to it. Okay, that's new.
Oh, okay.
What's happening?
Ba-da-da-ba-da-da.
We were talking about it in the text chat thing. The character sheet seems to have undergone some changes.
Oops, not casting that. Sorry.
Suddenly, you start emitting a magical glow in the middle of the restaurant. You're like, "God damn it, spell slot! Roll a d100." No.
Fireball in the middle of the restaurant.
So what changed exactly?
There's apparently like a little eye in a circle that you can click that like gives you like an info version of it or something that looks
Oh,
similar to the
okay.
spell card that he just posted. So I guess that you click the eye and it closes that version of it.
Yeah, because on like the core sheet down in like your features and traits, you could actually click on something to basically give you sort of like a preview of it before you actually like rolled it out like that. That wasn't there on spells. You actually had to
Yeah.
go into the configuration to preview what you wanted. So
Interesting.
that's actually yeah, I'm a big fan of that actually. So neat.
Cool.
Yeah, I noticed that now. All of mine are currently expanded.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, while they're discussing child names and stuff, the waitress would come by and just kind of be like, "Hey, what you having? Hey, what you having?" Or there would be menu available. I told myself that I was going to come up with some really silly names for stuff. Um, the basic theming of the place, though, is very much that like it seems like a lot of the names sound like weapons or like things like that, and so
I have the best one, and you're
oh,
going to fucking love it, Dives.
go ahead and order it then.
I would like the Uwoozy.
The Uzi, the Uzi. Okay. Well, since you're proposing it, what is the Uzi? Because I do actually have in mind like a like the RPG luncher is ribs, potato, and greens.
Give me a minute.
Also, the voucher would be specifically for an RPG luncher.
Well done.
So
I'm thinking well done steak and I don't know why I'm thinking poutine. I'm really craving poutine fries right now, but I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be a thing. So that with corn and peas. I really want poutine fries to be a.
I'm not really sure where the name is tying into these things, but okay.
All right, we're ready. I've got one.
Okay.
Margaret would kind of like look over the menu, then look up and say, "The halberd half sandwich? What the? Oh, sure. We'll try this. Whatever. It's like a club sandwich, but instead of having a toothpick through it, it's actually got a mini halberd, and it's a half
Okay.
sandwich because the other half is some like soup, but instead of like a normal like spoon, the spoon is actually a halberd on the other end as well."
Okay. Theming. All right. I'm down with it. Well, I mean, as far as submachine gun sandwich, you're in the RPG luncher.
Fair enough, I guess.
Okay. I'm gonna scratch the thing I said about the RPG luncher voucher being specifically for that, and you'll just use it for one of them. We'll figure out prices later for the rest of the. You know what? Fuck it. The voucher covers everybody. Screw it.
Yeah.
Let's be lazy about it. It'll be fine. I've been overcharging you guys anyway.
Yeah, one voucher for everyone, so we got 3 more.
What?
What?
No,
It only
it was.
covers 3 people. The other guy's just off doing.
Oh yeah, we
store.
only have one. I forgot.
I'm just gonna say it like covers the table, basically. So yeah, y'all have a voucher to cover the meals for the table. Okay. So yeah, so she takes your orders, and okay, we'll hit you with that in a minute. And turns and goes to call it out. Let's see.
Yes.
Okay. She goes over to the counter thing and is just like puts an alarm on it and calls out, "We got 2 rapid fires and a chopped sandwich," and goes about her business.
Rapid fire? What the fuck? Whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
Look, can you just fucking chill for a second, Margaret? Okay. This is all fucking new to me as well. And personally, I'm not a big fan of the clockwork robots. Kind of fucking soulless.
I'm not gonna lie, they creep me out a little bit too, but at least they look pretty.
They look a hell of a lot better than that fucking Manticore. That's for damn sure.
Agreed.
No
Fuck
soul
that
to
thing.
steal.
It's all fun and games until the fucking Fire Nation attacked.
Oh man, everything changed.
God damn. I misplaced my phone again. How am I supposed to get news from Dimes?
I mean, I can just do that over Discord.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Who needs phones?
Yeah, fuck this stupid piece of technology.
Yeah, it's not like anybody's going to use it to get in touch with you about a job.
Put on tish.
It's on you, kid. My phone's off, so I have to use the house phone.
Oh. Okay.
Where's my fucking food?
It's been like 20 seconds.
Shut the fuck up!
Okay.
You tell me I'm the one who needs to chill? Jesus Christ.
Ah!
The pregnant lady kind of peeks around the corner. It's like, come on, you ordered well done. How quick do you think they can cook?
Look, lady, if you've been through the day that we had, you would understand.
I don't know. I
She
was
ca-
pretty okay with it.
She kind of edges over she kind of edges over to the seat so that you can see her belly sticking out around the corner. It's like, you want to talk about my day?
Margaret
I
would kind
mean-
of look back and say, she's got you beat.
I mean, did you almost die by a manticore, though?
Not all of us almost died, though.
Yeah, but none of you else. The rest of you don't matter.
The husband, with a little bit of a smirk, kind of leans over or perks his head up to it's a bit of a tall elf, so he can actually see past the top of the seat, and he's like, well, I haven't almost been killed by a manticore, but I have had to rebuild two work labs in the past 3 weeks.
I have no idea
I
what that entails.
I turn around on my seat and just perk my head up on the table with my perk my head up with my hand. Just do go on.
Begins to, yeah, he explains to you that his boss is eccentric, to say the least, and he's working on the impossible and keeps trying to fit too much into too little space, and it's literally destroying the workplace.
Fucking mages, I'm telling you.
Oh,
Can't even keep their hands to themselves.
There's nothing magic about it. Or rather, there's not supposed to be anything magic about it. He can't seem to make it actually come together the way that he's been told it's supposed to, but he certainly is trying.
I'm assuming I'm assuming what you're telling me is supposed to be a secret, so you can't really give me any actual information on it.
Well, I haven't given you any information because you haven't really asked. But if you would like to know, though, oh shit, what the fuck did I call it? Was it Batty Knock
Steen?
Builders? That's right. He works at Batty Knock Builders, and he is he's actually an apprentice to one of the lead researchers who has been given an impossible gearbox. He's had the gearbox for 100 years. It has no power source, and it has yet to stop turning.
Ooh.
And
he's trying to recreate it because it was given to him, and so far he's managed to make 3 prototypes that were supposed to work but ended up falling apart. Any other attempts that he's made just have been the result of some absurdities, and it never works out.
Margaret would ask, do you have it with you, by chance?
Oh no! My master keeps it on him, or in his own quarters at all times.
Makes sense. Don't want some weirdo stealing it.
I mean, to be fair, the only person that would steal it is not here right now. He's still in the shop trying to figure out what he wants for that gold armor.
True.
I don't think even if he got what he wanted, he would know what to do with it.
Probably not.
He would probably just sell it. It's a machine where it has an unlimited power source. Who the fuck knows? Sell it anyway.
So do you think magic has anything to do with it, or do you think it?
Well, the person who gave it to him insisted that there was no magic involved. There was no steam power. It simply works perpetually. If he can figure out how to create it, then it's going to be the greatest advancement in technology that our realm has known ever, I'm sure.
Have you verified that it doesn't use any sort of magic? A lot of folks of the arcane are able to detect any sort of like trace presence of magic upon items like that. There's a chance he could just be doing this to you as a test, unless you have verified.
Oh,
I was
I
about
assure
to
you.
say the same thing.
Yeah.
I assure
Even I can detect magic.
I assure you, he's doing it to himself if he's doing it to anyone, and he's attempting to detect any magical effects on it was one of the first things that he told me he did. So I'm certain that he's done everything he can to confirm that, probably multiple times just out of disbelief, knowing the skeptic that he is.
Seems like a thing
Margaret
a
would
science
nod.
guy would do.
That seems fair. I've just always been of the sort. I tend not to believe things unless I've seen them with my own eyes.
I mean, you're a wild man. You can conjure a portal to the fire plains for all I care in the middle of this restaurant. Just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's why I say I tend not to trust things until I can see them. Because I have seen some shit, let me tell you.
And I'm a half-dead guy.
You're one of the shit I have seen.
Be about this time that they would end up getting their order brought to their table. The wife would be like, "Ooh," and would kind of reposition herself to ready herself to dig in. They wouldn't be too absorbed in their, or rather, the husband wouldn't be too terribly absorbed in his meal that he couldn't participate if y'all were interested in still talking to him. But yeah, they would be getting their meal about this time.
Trying to think.
Yeah, at that point, Margaret would probably be okay with just letting them enjoy their meal. Because anything more would start to feel sort of like prying.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of prying, the elf would seem to get just a bit curious, and between bites, he would kind of perk up. He'd be like, you neither look nor sound like you're from anywhere around here. What brings you to this city anyway?
Oh boy. Let me tell you, son Jim.
Looking for a jester.
Well, my name's not Jim, it's Fenris, by the way.
Jim, he has a story to tell you.
What?
Yeah, god damn it, Jim.
He's dead, Jim.
I suppose my name is Fenris now. So much for me coming up with a cool elf name. Actually named a fucking character.
Holy shit, he fucking did it.
Anyway,
we are on a mission from the king in Keurig to look for a jester who's about late teens, early 20s. Was seen coming to or through here, and we have just arrived from.
You came from Keurig. Keurig was the second town that you went to that you have just left.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm getting
Torgrin.
the kingdom. Torgrin. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
Torgren is both the name of the capital city and of the kingdom.
We came from the capital city, Torgren, by will of the king to find this jester, who went from Curik, and we found some information in Curik that he was coming through or to here.
It'd be about that point that the wife would kind of like swallow a bite of her potatoes, and she'd be like, "A jester, a silly little boy likes to wear red."
Yes.
Oh, yes, he did come through here. He
Why?
came to see about a week and a half ago.
Margaret would lean back a little bit and say, "I think that's actually the most recently we've heard of him, isn't it?"
Yes, everything else has been either more than a month, around a month, between 2 to 3 weeks.
Margaret would kind of redress the couple then. So this might actually be the best lead that we have had regarding this. So please do go on.
Well, he's always had a peculiar habit of visiting me on rainy days. Something about if I have to suffer, then he should have to suffer to visit me. But yes, he always weathers the storm in the most literal of senses. It was peculiar though, because it actually wasn't raining that day. It seemed like he was something other than simply visiting, I suppose. And he did seem a little peculiar, but he did come through.
Define peculiar.
Yeah. He's usually very playful about pretty much everything. Not very pointed at all. He doesn't really seem to do much of anything with any major purpose. Like perhaps there's some kind of reason that he would do the things, but it doesn't really seem that way. But when he came through before, it was very purposeful. Like he was coming through with a reason and he was leaving with a reason. It wasn't very clear what that reason was for him to be visiting anyway. It didn't seem terribly different from any other time that he came.
And he left here a week and a half ago.
Yes, he came, he stayed less than a day, and then he left.
Would you happen to know which direction? Or a city or a town?
Or did he even mention anything?
Well, he didn't mention anything specific. Hold on a second, I'm reviewing notes. Oh, this is the wrong notes. Oops. Okay. I'm actually struggling to think of how she might phrase this, but she would explain to you that she was familiar with the fact that he was a jester to the king, and he did make mention of the king during his last visit, but it didn't sound quite like the same one. Things didn't quite line up with the king that she had known, the king of Torgren. Bernard, I want to say I named him. I know it started with a B. It was Bernard now.
He's a dog now.
He's not a saint, though. He's just Bernard.
Neither is the Pope, but look at him. Da 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 da.
Okay.
Religion.
He'll be here all night. Try the veal.
And I'm not the bard.
Let's see.
Threaten the
Okay,
Pope.
yeah. The only thing that he had really told me about where he was going was that he was, before he was going to go see the king again, he had to go see the phoenix. I don't know of any legendary birds in the area, though, let alone a phoenix.
It's my understanding that he often talked in riddles. Is there anything that you could think of that might be somehow in reference to that? Say a mountain range, another city, another another area, perhaps?
Maybe even a gang.
That's a neat way to do this. It'd be about this time that the waitress would come back with y'all's orders and would be handing out the plates and such.
Ooh, yeah.
And as she's doing so, she'd be like, "Somebody say something about a phoenix."
Yes.
I mean, the only phoenix I can think of is a boat, and she'd hook her thumb towards the like she'd hook her thumb in one direction. It would be kind of vaguely to the east. Stin. Yeah, she would say that her husband works on a boat that's kind of a bastardized version of Phoenix, as far as the name of it. Who knows? Maybe that's what y'all are talking about.
How big is that boat exactly?
She'd kind of give you a little bit of a curious look, but she'd shrug. She'd be like, "I don't know. It's just a transport boat. Takes food here and there."
Margaret would chime in at that point, which means it's probably a cargo ship, which means it's probably definitely on the larger side. Generally, they're crewed by anywhere from 30 to 100, if I'm recalling from my studies correctly. Not that I fucking care.
Not that she cares, by the way.
Well, hopefully he hasn't gone to some other continent or something on that boat.
The waitress would kind of perk her eyebrow at you're at the "not that I care" and be like, "Of course you don't, sweetheart," and kind of would go off to continue doing some work, like mostly cleanup and stuff.
Margaret at that point would proceed to huff and then dig into the food.
I ordered a sandwich of some kind.
Yay, sandwich.
Wow.
Sound effects to match.
Mm-hmm.
That was a satisfying crunch.
I
It
am very
was.
good at acting that I have food in my mouth, huh?
The best. You could be some kind of actor. Perhaps even a performer of some sort.
I know, right?
Blingity blongity bling. There it is.
Oh, I wonder if that thing's actually capable of producing music.
I don't think so, no.
No, not from the way Nate's strumming it.
I think it's more of just like a little model than an actual functional playing instrument.
Yeah.
Because if that was capable of making any notes, those strings would not be that loose.
And even if I hold them down, they're still pretty.
Yeah, they wouldn't be making anything like that. They would be making almost like an acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mostly ordered it just as a little prop. I can't play any instruments anyway, so, no point spending a whole bunch of money on a thing I can't even really use. Also, jazz hands. So,
Jazz hands.
well, not jazz hands, but
Ah!
jank. Jank.
Now the real question is this boat docked? If it's not, where would it be?
And the couple doesn't seem to have any kind of meaningful response for that. They're not really sure of ship schedules at all.
Could always go check after we're done eating. Might be a good idea.
Maybe one of the deckhands would know.
No, okay, that's fine.
They're always going in and out of shifts, so maybe one of the deckhands for the Phoenix is at the docks.
Or even a dockmaster or something might know if it's out or when it would be back if it is.
That's also true.
Yes.
All right, well, let's finish eating and then go there. Unless Margaret here has any other plans.
She's still eating her food, and kind of ignoring everybody.
Also, just so it's on record, Oliver eats way faster than I do. Otherwise,
One
he'd
would
probably
hope.
be there until like midnight.
3 hours later.
Happens sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, it's frequent. Like 3 hours is actually average for him to be like mostly done with a meal.
I enjoy food too much to eat that slowly.
Mostly
You're
it's just when
goddamn
doing
right.
other things. If we're at a restaurant, I'll eat basically normally, but
I mean, that's kind of understandable. You want to go in, have a nice meal, and then get the fuck out as fast as possible.
yeah.
Apparently more of an American tendency than in other places, from what I understand. Like American tourists going to like a British restaurant just piss people off with them expecting fast service.
America.
America, fuck yeah, coming again and say America.
I mean, that's why we have fucking rampant problem of diabetes and obesity. But hey,
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me that's a large? That ain't no gallon of cola.
where's my double stuffed decker gallon of diabetes?
Where's my Cheez-Its pizza? I ordered it 2 minutes ago.
Diabetes in a can.
I want to say I actually had somebody call me from the pickup tower at work one time and tell me they had been waiting 30 seconds. How long do they expect us? How long do we expect them to wait?
Jesus Christ.
Definitely one of those I love retail moments.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, yes, this is Patrick. How can I help you today? Yes, where's my package? It's been 30 fucking seconds since I ordered the damn thing. Where is it?
That's about as needy as doctors can be with just the most ridiculous shit. This printer that's by the printer that I like to use is not good enough. I need you to fix my printer.
fucking printer. Why don't you fucking use the goddamn printer? No, it's not fucking good enough. What the fuck? What makes it so different than your fucking printer, huh? What are you, a fucking printer? Is that what you are?
I could understand if maybe there was an actual difference, but when they're literally the exact same model, set up to be identical, and one is a backup of the other one, the reason they don't like it is because they have to take 4 more steps.
Oh my god, it's so far.
Which also kind of proves my point of the whole fucking American obesity thing.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
People can't be fucking bothered to fucking walk. Oh no, I have to take 4 more steps out of my fucking job that pays a hell of a lot more than most people make in retail. Oh, hoopty fucking do. Fucking walk.
The rails, where have they gone?
Okay.
Okay.
They're still around there. But yeah.
So at this point, I assume we have finished eating. Unless people want to discuss more, because as I said, Margaret's just kind of sulking and eating at being called out.
Wah, wah, wah.
I think the one thing that I do want to point out is y'all were expecting a pretty good bit of a weight on the gold appraisal for the armor. Are y'all wanting to abandon on that, or what you want to do?
Margaret could not fucking care less.
Mm,
I mean, it gives Hake something to do.
Having the armor and wanting to do something with it, or waiting on the armor gives him something to do?
Pretty much waiting on the armor to give him something to do.
Yeah, in my brief
'Cause God-
experience with the character, it seems like the thing that he would do is basically just sit there and just constantly pester and nag until it was done.
and glare.
And
threaten
not
burning
share,
hands.
and that as well, and not share any of the gold from what he prospected either. So if it's worth a
Yeah.
good penny, he would keep every dime.
This sounds an awful lot like, let's abandon the wizard, we don't need him.
I
Mm,
mean, why have a wizard that can do magic missile when you have another fucking wild magic wizard that can summon fireballs from their fucking armpits?
and also a
Just
bard.
fireball.
Just fireball. Just fireball. Just fireball.
Technically, it's a chaotic ball of who knows what the fuck it is. Let's find out!
Let's spin that wheel of magic.
Magic!
Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Then one of us becomes a fucking potted plant.
I fucking love a crap guide. I loved his Monster Hunter bit. Like, the Charge Blade one still makes me laugh every time I see it.
The moveset bit. It's good.
Yep.
Anyway, so are we legit abandoning the wizard?
I mean,
I
he's
don't-
not here to vote,
see-
so
I don't know if we're abandoning him, but if he's basically probably going to be sticking around and basically pestering the dude, we're at the very least probably going to go check out the pier. I don't know if we'll leave without him, but we're probably at the
No,
very
we
least going to
won't
go check
leave
out the pier
without him.
without him.
if we need to, we can leave him a note and he can catch up later.
Yeah, just leave something with like the staff and say, hey, if this insane, burning hands, loving wizard with his pockets laden with gold comes in, tell him we're over here.
Okay. As far as over there, though, it is a city away.
Meh,
Um,
he can still catch up.
How far? Is it like a nearby city that we could get by with like a jaunty walk, or is this going to be like another like overnight trip with horses, wagons, carriage, etc.?
You could feasibly make it like before, like pretty easily before dusk. Like it would be probably along the lines of when I was expecting y'all to arrive in this particular city is when y'all would probably arrive there. Because it's still fairly early in the day. Like y'all probably would have had like estimating 2 hours of walking to do before you had gotten here after fighting the Manticore and such. And so then after getting here, y'all maybe have spent like, for being generous, 2 hours. And so y'all probably would have gotten up and gotten moving really early because y'all had turned in so early. So if we assume that y'all had started at like 6 in the morning or something, being generous with the amount of time that you had spent, it's like 10 a.m. So y'all would easily make it there before dusk, probably like mid to late afternoon. Oh, hey, Higgs is here. And
Oh, okay.
Holy shit! Speaking of the devil,
Maybe he's already done.
Ah, damn it.
So how much was that armor worth?
What?
are you okay, Higgs?
I don't know. I'm a little disoriented right now.
Quit doing
Good
all of
morning,
the drugs,
sunshine.
Higgs. It's not good to do all of them.
Not all at once. Gotta pace yourself a little bit.
Nah, only at once.
How else is a man supposed to jack off?
Exactly. Oh, look, I'm all by myself.
Fuck.
Huh?
Yeah, we had basically decided that.
Thrown you in jail.
Oh, okay. I knew
No.
I'd end up there eventually.
Don't you love how beautiful this
I
map
didn't think it'd be
is?
this soon.
Isn't the map just the best? And definitely not a hideous thing that hurts my soul a little bit.
Guys,
What is?
I gotta show you this.
I thought this was a green board layout.
You thought it was a what?
A green board layout?
Green. Okay.
Is it green? I thought, yeah, I was like, what is this? Green board?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what that's exactly what I thought earlier. Thought it was a
You're
circuit
back for
board.
like 2 minutes. I need to feed my cat.
Uh,
Ah,
yeah.
God fucking damn it.
What is giggles?
He just sent me he just sent me a picture. It was like a warlock says he died of natural causes. The DM says you pushed him off a cliff. The warlock says gravity is natural. The DM says, well, listen here, you little shit.
It's just this. It's supposed to be like heavy with his bird, like a bird face on him, with just his eyes fucking bulging out of his fucking head. It's just listen here, you little shit.
God.
Uh,
Did we kill anyone?
No.
Damn it.
We had food.
You're still waiting for your. Yeah, we just had food. You missed out on it. You're still sitting there waiting for your fucking body armor to be fucking appraised.
Hey, I only gave him an arm.
Well, yeah, he was gonna like test and see, and then give a idea how long it would take to do the rest of it.
But did he take a leg too?
No, not yet.
Got to get that arm
That
cleaned
was
up
a
first.
terrible joke.
If you want to hear terrible jokes, I'm gonna have to tell you the one later that Dimes found
Oh,
out about.
God.
It's a good one.
Oh, no, it's not. It is
Yeah,
the
it
worst one. I mean, I love it, but oh, God.
You're
I
gonna
have
love it, Higgs.
returned.
Oh,
Could you
Oh,
say it?
hello.
Wow. Wait, so this whole time you were just at the launcher?
Well,
Yeah.
there was also a bit of mic issues for a little bit.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Not
It's-
yeah, it's
it's-
much better than it was.
It's not
That's
nearly.
also true.
Yeah, it's not remotely as bad as it was, so it's okay.
Well,
but oh my
The signal's
God.
been at red for quite a
We were
while.
laughing for a straight. That good old Colorado internet, am I right?
Well, it might have even
Internet just
gotten
sucks.
record. I don't remember for sure. Kind of hope I did, but I don't. No, it probably didn't because I turned it off to just try and get it to work in the first place.
Hey,
Mhm.
no, where'd I go? Did I log off?
No, you're still in.
Why? Oh,
Okay. I guess that means we're abandoning Plan A.
What's plan A?
We were going to leave you behind.
Oh, that's fine.
We were talking about it. We hadn't decided on it yet.
Yeah.
Shut Margaret.
And it was
Not that
only
I
to go to the
care.
pier.
Baka.
I'd love a beer right now.
On beer?
Oh, it's not letting you move into the party, is it?
No, it is. I'm just like dancing around.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So does this mean that you're gonna be arriving and be like, I got sick of waiting on them?
No, I want my money.
Oh,
I'm gonna come back and break that Melder's legs later.
oh, okay.
Oh, I was gonna say something about that too, but I'm like, you know what? He'll either burn his hands or break his legs. I'm not sure which. I'm just gonna say burn the whole place down
You
with
better
them
spot
still
on.
inside. Can I get a murder one with arson?
Maybe.
Thank you.
And a side of chips.
There it is. No, that's not what I want.
And maybe some cod.
There it is.
Cod's not available. I would like catfish.
I'm suddenly curious of something that's just gonna be like really hard to figure out. Hold on. Google, help me. D&D.
Google
5e.
can't save you now.
Gold bar.
There we go. What the hell was that? No. Not like character sheet.
Okay.
Oh. Is Roll20 acting weird to you, or is it just me?
It's been pretty cooperative for me, but I hadn't really done a whole lot with it.
I think
Yeah, it
just
hasn't
being
been fighting with me any.
Yeah.
It's something weird. It just seems slow in the response. Maybe it's just me, or I've got like 5 other tabs up.
Okay.
The rest of them are fucking hentai haven.
No, that's on my Jackintosh right.
A separate laptop so you don't get your main one all messy.
Yeah,
Pretty good call.
I mean, everyone knows that's what the Jackintosh is for.
The fucking 200 IQ plays, my dude.
Yeah. Okay.
It's big brain time.
Is it the brain that's big?
No.
That ain't the only thing that's big.
All right. So Higgs is currently trying to make this cooperate. Well, I mean, it's cooperating enough that he can move his token. So that sounds good
Yeah.
enough to me.
There we go. Yeah, it's responsive now.
Okay.
He just had to close his Jackintosh.
No,
Okay.
it's still open. It's just over there in the corner.
He's letting it air dry.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. So I assume then you were arriving back at the arriving at the RPG launcher to meet up with them.
Yeah.
Okay. So I assume that they would fill you in.
I didn't mean to do that line.
Would y'all like to play out filling them in, or should I just give them a synopsis?
Just a
Let's go.
synopsis.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, the couple sitting next to them, and the table beside them is a pregnant human lady and an elf man.
I remember that.
Yeah, and the man is works at one of the research facilities that is one of the major things in the town in this particular city, and he actually is an apprentice to one of the primary researchers. They've been working on a gearbox they have been given a gearbox that it was given to them 100 years ago. It does not have any power source that they can determine, but it has not stopped spinning in the entire 100 years that they have had it. They haven't had to crank it. They haven't had to do anything to it. There is no magical effects on it. It's just running. They're trying to replicate it. They keep doing things wrong and nothing actually ends up working out for them, but they're trying to replicate it.
And the factories are the two giant buildings on this terrible map.
Uh-huh. The
Two giant buildings. Oh.
yeah.
The
And
big gray rectangles, basically.
and the other thing that came from the conversation is that they found out that the jester, or at least someone extremely similar to them, to the point that he's indistinguishable and is also a jester, had come and visited them and seemed like he was acting a bit strange.
Mutated.
No, he was not mutated.
Damn
But where he was normally like really flippant, really non-direct, he during that visit was very pointed in a lot of things and was very purposed, both in his visit to them as well as where he seemed to be going after that. He was not very direct in terms of like what he was actually going to be doing, where he was going. He did mention that he was before he could go and see his king, that he would need to go and see a phoenix. The best thing that they were given was one of the waitresses came by and said that the only phoenix that she's aware of is a ship that her husband works on in the next town over. So yeah, that's about where we stand. I think that's mostly everything.
Okay, then.
That sounds right.
So this is not a port town, so that means we have to go to a port town now? Or we go to a facility next?
Yep, and it will be like a couple hours travel at the very least. So yeah, I guess the question is going to be like, what do you want to do about your armor? Mostly, like, do you want to leave it with them and let them do what they do? Do you want to
I want my money. I'm gonna get my arm, and then I'm gonna go on to the port town.
Okay. I did before. I had said it would be like the following day. That seems extravagant and extraneous and stuff. So probably just would be a few hours. So.
How much gold?
Okay. So. I mean, y'all could do pretty much whatever you wanted to for a given amount of time if you wanted to. It would probably be from right now. Again, if we were being about as generous as we had been, if it was like around 10 or so in the morning, then they probably would have told you it would be done shortly after reaching noon, so like probably like 1 or 2 o'clock. So y'all have got a couple hours if you'd like to do anything that would blow time.
Let's check one of the factories that the elf was referring to.
Okay. He would actually say that you would probably have an easier time getting in if you had somebody going with you, and he would actually volunteer to introduce you to his boss if you wanted to. He's pretty sure that he would be.
Actually, that would be great.
Okay. So yeah, y'all take a field trip.
Hooray.
Okay.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Okay. So he would escort you to this building over here.
I saw that.
Okay, so yeah, you get here. It's loud at this point. The gears turning, metal clanking, all these kinds of things. There's an abundance of clockwork creations just in various places. Many of them spewing small amounts of steam every now and then.
Cue wretched automaton.
Yeah, this place is an orgasm for me.
And yeah, most of them are very like almost skeletal frames, including the servant that had been like with them. They're very, very jagged, very rigid, and like lots of right angles in a lot of the design. And like, despite that design, the one that they had would actually have been one of the better looking models. Despite that, though, they do actually that couple does still dress fairly modestly. But yeah, they'll bring you here, and he'd pretty happily just like introduce himself to anybody that was at the front desk and stuff, and they go in and he'd be like, "Hey," and oh fuck, I gave him a name too. What the hell was it? It's under this one, right?
Curtis.
Theo.
Uh-uh.
Theo.
Curtis.
Theo
Yeah, so
Curtis.
Carl.
He would
Last
ask
name.
if he would. No, his last name is Body Knock. I'm sorry,
Ew.
His middle
Theo
name.
Body Knock. Fine, it's Theo Curtis Body Knock.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, he would ask if Theo's in, and sure enough, he is, and so he's like, great. So he takes you. They would have a steam-powered lift that they would take you on to. It's a little bit clanky, not exactly the most secure of platforms, but it holds. It doesn't give way on its way up. It takes you up. Takes you up about 3 floors. Get up there, and he goes and knocks on the door and gets a slightly raspy and just almost annoyed, "Come on in," or "Come in," kind of response. Opens the door, and there is a gnome hard at work over a table. He's hunched over it. You can tell even from behind that he has like some headgear that's like that he would be using to see like the fine things that he's doing with machinery and such. And so yeah, definitely not Jim. Fenris, that's his real name. I hate you guys, by the way. So Fenris calls out to me. He's like, "Theo, I brought some visitors. They were really curious about the gearbox you have." He's like, "Visitors?" And he almost turns around, like almost angrily, but then just kind of calms himself. He's just like gently sets down the things that he's doing, puts the tools aside. He turns around. And he's like, "The gearbox, huh?" I'd be like, "All right, hold on." And Fenris is like, "Okay, yeah, he'll be right back." As the gnome steps over to the, yeah, he would just actually step to the other side of the workbench. He'd hunch down. He'd hear some clacking, some clanking, some turning of knobs, various things that he ends up going through. Takes him a good, like, very nearly a minute, like 45 seconds, very near a minute, before he gets through everything and finally comes up with just a small box that fits in the palm of. And as it comes over, you can see, sure enough, there are gears in every side of it. All of them interacting with each other in some way, and it is just continuously, very continuously, very smoothly, and it seems to be encased in glass, so him holding it is not messing with the gears at all. But yeah, slow, steady, continuous movement. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. It's just a box with gears that are going.
What kind of check would Margaret need to make to just kind of like rack her brain, think back to like all of the books she's read, and see if there's anything even remotely like that in any of the books?
History, probably? $12. Okay. It's. I mean, you would probably have several places that would come to mind that you would be able to or have looked into, like various steamworks or clockwork items. Everything that comes to mind, though, very definitely has some kind of power source or some way of renewing its momentum. It seems highly illogical that seems highly illogical that something would be able to perpetuate movement for 100 years without a power source or without any kind of renewing.
Okay, makes sense.
What's this world of magic? There's no. Just kidding. Perpetual motion.
Yeah, well, the guy would respond to that with, it's not magic. I've checked that a few times. Thought I had it last time. Really did. I'm gonna miss that lab.
How many more labs are you going to blow up before you actually figure it out?
I'll never tell.
All of them.
He would actually kind of like snap on that and be like, I'll get it. And it's like, this next one's gonna get it. Swear it's gonna get it.
If you can find a
Alright.
way to produce these things, it's going to change the world as we know it.
Have you insured the lab?
I mean, yeah, I would assume that he's insured. Yes, he's insured.
Always good to
But-
be on the safe side.
It's like, yeah, I'm insured, but even so,
Rates are
who's in the
probably
lab,
high.
it's trouble no matter how you look at it. Yeah, if you were inclined to look, you would probably see like where he had been working on the bench. He seems to have what is probably the layout of a cube, just like opened up on his table over there. It seems like it would fairly similarly replicate the positions of the gears, and he was just kind of tinkering with it, probably trying to figure out how the fuck do you make it move perpetually.
Time is a cube.
There's a tiny little man inside running around on a treadmill.
It's a fucking goblin. I knew it.
Well, even that's going to need some food. If it's a goblin, it won't last 100 years.
You'd probably have to be like made
So
out
how
of
long have you
just
had
thighs.
this?
They said 100 years.
It's run by spirits, ghosts. Actually, that would be too far off in this world.
Well, I'm sure that if something like that was afoot, then we would have detected necromantic magic in work. I mean, sure didn't. What was it that you said, though, Cody? I didn't quite hear you. Or were you just...
How long had he had it, or does he have it?
100 years.
Yeah, he does have it, and he's had it for right at 100 years at this point. Like, he wouldn't know, like, to the day, but it had been...
Okay. Have you ever taken it out of the glass container, or simply too afraid of damaging it to do so?
I don't want to open it, because if opening it may ruin the mechanism that gives it the perpetual motion, and thereby ruins anything that I would have to research.
Fair enough. On your previous attempts, did you surround it with the same type, thickness of glass?
As closely as I could. Well, the first time I just kind of put it in anything that I could make it work in. Made it just like a normal gearbox. Based on the second time, I don't think it made a difference.
Exploded both times?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever's in these gearboxes must be extremely catastrophic. If it's able to blow up an entire lab, especially 2 of them.
Maybe it's powered by wild magic. Probably not, because he said there was no magic, so you can just go ahead and ignore me.
Even if it was somehow powered by some sort of like chaotic, ethereal entity, without it being constant and standard, there's no way it could survive in the same state for 100 years.
There could be some kind of magic there is, and it's not easy to detect.
Well, I mean, we can. Blah, blah, blah. He would kind of explain that any of the other times that they had attempted detecting magic, even like trace amounts had ended up showing up on other things that were even in the same area at the time, and they were just completely unrelated to that. And so there's never even been a slightly trace amount on it, in it, or around it.
And even if there was, we probably can't even detect it because we don't know what it is.
The fact that it exploded 2 previous times without any magic being used in its construction, as hesitant as I am to say this, makes me think that somehow magic is not involved.
Makes you think that magic is not involved?
Correct. Sorry if that cut out or anything.
No, I was just making sure I understood you correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I get you. Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely hadn't put any magic into it myself. And kind of almost distractedly be walking back over towards his work table. The gearbox in one hand, he would just kind of pick up his tool and like start poking at the gears in the other one. Just almost as though he feels like he has to. Fenris would kind of quietly lean over and explain, he's always been very invested in his work. Don't mind him too much.
It's understandable.
Really wish I could use Tides of Chaos on other people.
Oh, what is Tides of Chaos?
Basically, it gives them advantage, and then at some point in the future, randomly determined by the DM, Magic Surge table, or Wild Magic table.
Oh, God. Do you have that now? Is that a thing
Yep.
you have right now? Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I can only do it to myself.
Huh. That could potentially be unfortunate for some reason. What's the usage limit on it?
Once per long rest.
Once per long rest. Okay. Alright, so I can't really fudge it for you. Okay.
You know.
Whoops. Sorry.
Hmm?
I was trying to look into a thing and it posted something or other.
Oh. Anytime before you regain the use of this feature, the DM can have you roll the Wild Magic Surge table immediately after you cast a sorcerer level of first level or higher. You then regain use of this feature.
Wait.
What?
So anytime I hit the magic table, I get this back, or a long rest.
Huh.
Oh shit.
That is wildly better than I thought it was. Holy shit.
Okay.
Nerf wild mages, please.
Well, I mean, it's using the magic surge. It's using the wild table, which is not necessarily like a good thing.
Yeah. It is if you like chaos and rolling the dice, which I'm all about.
Yeah. My personal opinion of it, if you're interested in me dropping yet another house rule onto this campaign because we don't have enough, I wouldn't mind if you were to like apply it to someone within like someone you can touch. Just like if you use like you could use it as like use an action and touch someone, you can grant them the effects of Tides of Chaos at the cost of not being able to regain it for the rest of the day.
That being the case, then, as he starts to basically tinker with it again, Margaret is going to basically tap his shoulder and say, "You know what? I think I think you're actually onto something there," and will proceed to use Tides of Chaos to give him advantage in attempting to
Okay.
recreate this thing.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay. Before that happens, everyone get 25 feet away from the tinker right the fuck now.
It's a pretty
We don't
small
want
room,
another
so
debacle like last time.
I mean, fucking dip now. Tinker, I'm sorry, dude, but you're on your own.
Is that actually a
Okay.
thing that can happen if he has
Yes,
no idea
because
what it is?
here's the thing. If he rolls the one with fireball,
Oh no, I'm not actually rolling. The DM determines when the basically the Tides of Chaos come back on me.
that's what I should have said.
Yeah. So if I were to decide that it's happening right now, then yeah, you might want to be aware of the potential of getting fireballed. But
So 25 feet. Let's get back
yeah.
right now.
Oh.
Bye.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you're
that's
using
more
this
than
to see if he
25
can
feet.
recreate it?
Yeah, he's basically trying to assist in the role to create recreate the gearbox.
Because that was
Which,
more what I
Yeah,
was
that's right.
asking was if that was possible, if they don't even know how it works.
I mean, I have no idea if this is going to work. It's just something Margaret would do. This
Okay.
dude's working on this thing. She has the ability to. It's just kind of
Yeah.
in her nature. She's trying not to care, but she does, so she's helping.
Oh,
With also the possibility of blowing up a third lab. But hey, fuck it, right?
Nobody got him anywhere without, breaking a few eggs, blowing up a few labs.
In order to achieve progress, you gotta break a few eggs.
pretty sure the price of progress is a really good magic card. Just throwing that out there.
I mean, hey, that's banned.
Wait, is
Yeah, greed is banned.
it greed? What?
Mm-hmm. You're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
No.
No, he's at price of progress.
Yeah, price of progress, I'm pretty sure is a good magic card, is what I said.
What was I thinking Yu-Gi-Oh?
I don't know.
I'm like greed. I'm like, he's not talking what I think he is he?
Also, I'm guessing you mean Pot of Greed, because greed I
Yeah,
don't think has
Pot
ever
of
been
Greed.
banned.
I meant
Yeah.
Pot of Greed.
I just
Okay.
shorthand. He's just.
Yeah, greed is an actual card though, and it's one of my favorite cards. It's terrible though. Anyway, he would kind of turn to you and like make a bit of a face and be like, "You know what? Thank you." And he just like set the gearbox down on his table and would bend over the work and bend over his stuff a bit more. A bit more focused on it than he had been a moment ago. A bit less compelled to and more actually working.
You did it, Reddit.
Hmm. Curious, Nate. What's that 3? Is that like your
Oh, I put that there to keep track of bardic inspiration.
uh
I think 3 is my charisma modifier.
I believe so, yeah.
So that's just the big number, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think we've had a long rest since that last fight. So it should actually be at 2.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, we have?
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
right, we did the fight and then we went to bed and then somebody fought with a hammer.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I did.
He's still useless.
Damn right I am. Just like this deck of mad cards.
Let's see. So if I do this.
Red blue artifact, because I'm an ass.
And we do. Oh, okay. But if
Where's
I
the kaboom? I'm waiting for the kaboom.
Oh, it's coming.
You just gotta wait for him to roll the die.
Oh god.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'd like to use the red bar for that particular thing. It will automatically adjust with your charisma modifier changing. And I'd like to use the blue one for temporary hit point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just get rid of those then.
All right. It's a.
Which, by the way, if you're ever looking at my character sheet, if I'm using something that has like a 1-a-day ability by it, I changed the title to have an X at the end of it. So now my Tides of Chaos has an X at the end of it. So now I just know I can't use it again until I do a long rest.
Okay.
If you're ever looking at or want to check anything.
All right.
Unless you get it back.
Well, I'm going to get it back. Question is it after a long rest or is it after I explode?
So, I'm just curious which one's gonna happen.
That's what I'm worried about. So it's
That's
either we
half
get
the
away
fun.
from. What do you mean half the fun? It's either we get away from the tinker or we get away from you.
I think the way I want to work it is for like the basically like you're imbuing that magical effect into the being as well as the chaos associated with it.
Mm.
And so whoever you touch is affected by both the advantage and the
Whiplash.
and the wild table, whatever form it may take.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
when you do eventually roll it, I would like to know what it is.
Yeah, me too.
okay.
Cause I'm putting all my money on black. It's going to be a fucking fireball, and I know it. All my money on black.
I'm just gonna hide behind this building here.
But I mean, keep in mind, it could happen now, or it could happen like 3 hours from now. So
Mm. Hopefully by then we're in the port town.
I mean, God forbid if there was one fucking spell that'd be like, hey, look, we're just gonna add meteor to the wild magic table because why the fuck not?
Okay.
No. Okay. So meteor does a shit ton of fucking damage. It spawned, or it has. You put force on a
1 mile range.
1 mile range. They do not stack on top of one another, so you can't just be like, all right, we'll just have fucking 40. What was it, like 40d?
It's D6. Yeah, and it's 20d6 fire damage and 20d6 bludgeoning damage on.
Jesus Christ!
And it's I believe, a 40-foot radius on each of those points.
40-foot radius with a 1 mile cast range.
Yeah, it's an army killer.
Yay.
It's very specifically an army killer. Okay.
Because if you try and cast it all on one target, it's just going to count as. Because otherwise that would be busted.
It's gonna count as what?
it's going to count as doing 20d6 fire and 20d6.
No.
It's not going to be 20, 40, 60, 80.
Yeah, it does all like the damage. Each individual thing that is affected by meteor swarm can only be affected by it once, basically.
Yep.
Nah.
Because,
you-
like I said, otherwise it would be busted.
I mean, my opinion of it is otherwise it would be rad, but.
I mean, if someone casts fucking meteor on that manticore, let's just say there wouldn't be anything left
Of
Yeah.
the
if
forest.
that was the case.
Yeah,
There
just
would be
four
just
giant
a
meteors.
huge hole in the fucking ground where the manticore once stood,
Mhm.
along with the two dead fucking bat things. But hey,
At least they
Along
died in
with
their
everyone-
sleep.
along with
Nuclear
everyone else
launch.
that was within range, because that's 40 fucking feet.
I'm just the tiniest bit sad that nobody even attempted to identify those, but that's okay. Anyway, but yeah, as he settles back into getting on his work, Fenris would probably say that y'all should probably let him focus on it since he's getting back into it, and would escort y'all out of the room. He might make a few more points as y'all are going through the building, like these people here working on some new appliances that people could use. This one over here, people working on like new models for the more fashionable applications of clockwork items. Just various things that people are working on developing.
They're making a sham wow.
You're gonna love my nuts.
That's
Go
the
on.
slap chop, silly.
You're gonna love my nuts, but yeah. So yeah.
So when are you rolling for this?
Eventually.
Oh god.
Actually, I've already rolled for it. I'm just thinking of when to apply it.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Well, actually, at this point, I guess it doesn't even matter. Y'all aren't going to be there to see it. Yeah, at some point, eventually, he's going to be very proud of his amount of progress, and then is going to slip and fall.
Oh, come on. God damn it. You had to roll that one. You son of a bitch. Oh,
It wasn't my idea.
fucking
Well,
grease.
I mean, it was sort of my idea, but it wasn't my idea.
I was just trying to help.
So did you say you slipped on grease?
Yes.
Yeah,
Nah.
they
Yeah.
rolled the number where it spawns grease on the target.
Yeah, specifically, it casts the spell Grease centered on yourself, and that just makes like a 10-foot square of literally just magical grease, and it works exactly like you think it does.
Burning hand.
Yeah.
So did he
Uh,
crack
don't-
his skull open and die, or what?
No, he just would have fallen over.
Oh, I fallen and I can't get up.
He may very well have ended up dropping the thing that he had just made progress on and potentially damaged it to the point that he had lost the progress and would have to remember how he did it.
Oopsie.
Yay,
Well,
amnesia.
maybe he wrote it down.
Damn it, and I put all my money on.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as if he had rolled the fireball, but
Man, I was hoping for a fireball though.
Sure, probably crushed the dude's soul though.
You wouldn't have one.
Take 100 d5 psychological damage.
Psychological, not psychic.
Oh fuck.
So yeah, y'all y'all end up getting to piddle around in the facility for long enough that it probably would end up being time to check on the armor progress and such. So I assume that y'all would do that.
Yep. Someone's got to
okay.
make his money.
Okay, so y'all would get there and
It's all about the Benjamins, babe.
Hell yeah, dog.
So y'all get there, and he would, as you come in, he'd be like, "Oh," and he'd actually like step back into the back for a second, and he'd come back with a couple of gold bars and a scale, and he would immediately ask if y'all have the armor with you, which I assume you do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. He would get the armor from you, and he would set it up on the scale plus the gold bars, and as he's checking the weight on it and figures some things out, he kind of nods to himself for a second, and then steps back over. He's like, I was really underestimating the purity of that stuff.
Wait,
I'll give
what?
I'll give you 3,250 gold for this whole suit of armor.
Bazinga!
Nah, I'll take it.
Okay. He would actually end up gathering up a more weight-friendly way of paying you. And he would present you with a small pouch of coins. If you were to inspect the pouch, you would find 32 platinum and 50 gold.
Yay.
Try not to sound too excited.
So how much platinum is that per person? I don't really care about the gold.
50 and then what was it? 32 pieces of
32 platinum pieces and 50 gold pieces.
Yep.
Yeah, no, but that was Margaret in character saying, "Okay, so what's my cut?"
Yeah. What's our cut, bro?
Fine, 8 pieces each. Okay. Keep this platinum. Oh, where's the window? Oh, here it is. 8 pieces of platinum. I'm keeping all the gold. Fuck you guys.
Man, what a fucking Jew, am I right?
And suddenly the gnome who had been working with you on this is much more interested to see if y'all have any further business that you would like to conduct with him.
Not yet, but I'll be back.
Actually, do you know of anywhere where we could either get some horses or a carriage over to the port town?
Got him 2 our horses.
What did you say, Higgs?
What happened to our horses?
I thought we
Okay.
rented those.
No, y'all bought them.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
We
misremembering
bought
that.
them.
My
Yeah,
apologies.
what happened to them?
Yeah, what happened to
I assume
They're-
we just left them at the front gate.
Yeah,
Or
they're
at the
currently just
stables.
basically tied up and stabled basically up at the front gate. And
Yeah, I'm not fucking buying horses again.
Disregard that.
So do we
Is one
actually?
of them still like confused and retarded from that battle?
No,
Just curious.
probably
He
not.
did actually get confused.
Just
Let's
doesn't
all
that go
get retarded.
away after like 10 minutes or something?
Yeah, it doesn't last super long.
Also, should we be adding that money to like our?
Yes.
Yes.
How much was it?
8
Eight.
platinum.
8.
8 platinum.
Keeping
Yep.
the fucking gold though.
I'm keeping all the goddamn gold.
The platinum is the bottom one, right?
Yes, the very bottom
Correct.
one.
Is
In
it?
retrospect, I probably should have kept the platinum and split the gold. But whatever. I'd rather.
It's copper, silver, the one we don't give a shit about, gold,
Electrum.
platinum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
but
right.
nobody gives a shit about it.
How many? Like,
That's like Canadian pennies.
1 platinum is 100 gold.
okay.
He pretty much gave us 800 gold each.
Oh, here it is.
Well, I suppose our business here in this town is done.
Let's
Time
get
is
out
of the essence.
this
Let's
ugly,
get to the port town.
ugly town.
Don't try and
Now that I look
trigger
at it-
Bert now.
It's bad. Like,
Kind of looks like an old Pokemon.
a little bit.
You're
That's
You're
10
not wrong.
minutes. 10 minutes in RPG Maker to just kind of throw that together.
speaks volumes of Gen 1 Pokemon.
Oh god.
We don't talk about Gen 1.
No.
Like I said,
That's when
Yes, I know.
Pikachu was good.
Pikachu was never good.
next time tell me like a layout before and I'll try and make something slightly less ugly than this.
He'll tell
Yeah.
you 5 minutes before the session.
Okay. Did I actually? I'm pretty sure I actually found a thing I was actually happy with as a town map for the next town, because
Oh, sure, don't accept my art.
let me see.
Okay, well, let me
What
get
am I supposed to
this
see here?
graffiti real quick so I can just.
Oh.
Pictures.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. Yeah, actually having the map I want. I don't know why I didn't go ahead and upload it. Whatever.
What an asshole.
I know, right? Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and blow that one up. Thank you
Why
for
does
making
it
it for
say
me.
so ugly?
It was graffiti on those two buildings.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Why is it right above Jen's name?
I mean, if you've got it scrolled that way, yeah.
Yeah, I just like looked over. It's just so ugly right above Jen's name icon. Oh god, how conveniently placed. This looks like the map from the first town. No, never mind.
Ugly. Ugly!
The actual design is, but the first one didn't have like what I assume
Yeah, it
is
didn't
the
have-
ocean.
Yeah. Where do you find these maps?
Google.
Oh, are these like legitimate like locations, or you just?
Yeah, they're probably part of like a module or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they're probably from things like in actual like D&D campaigns, or from people who are more creatively active than I am.
Hmm. Still, that's impressive. That's
And-
quite the investment they've done.
Better
Yeah.
at arts than I am.
Okay, but yeah, y'all would make your way up to our lovely little port town here.
You can get rid of
uneventful
the
trip.
graffiti if you want.
Oh yeah, I do have that ability.
I
where is it?
don't, so.
There it
Does it
is.
say Gullet Lake?
Sarsgate?
Yep.
Bramble
Is that a
Island.
gate that gives you SARS or keeps it out?
It keeps it out.
That's some good technology.
I'm pretty sure the people in South Park would be very interested in it.
Stars.
Okay. All right. So yeah, y'all would make your way to this rather bustling town of Sten, and yeah, it's so yeah, ports just like all along the edges of the city, like ships constantly coming and going, and their freight frequently making its way through the city onto the into the various stalls and shops and things. The closer you get to the actual ports, the busier it gets, and also the more elbow nudging there is basically going on amidst everyone. Like the less patient people are, the more pushy they are to get to where they're going. This is very much a place of opportunities in terms of business deals and such. just passing through the city streets, you would be pretty well able to spot quite a lot of shit going on. Basically, people selling very high-end stuff, the stuff that's quite frankly way beyond your price range, and even the stuff that normally is like fairly affordable, like because it's fresh, because it's just, for lack of a better term, so fresh off the boat, it's higher in price just for that particular quality of it.
Unlike the fish in Colorado, which is very cheap because it has to go a long way.
Hey, look at me doing things that make sense. Yeah. Welcome to Sten.
Hello, Sten.
As
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I had a hard time reading your graffiti there for a second.
well, yeah, I kind of messed it up a bit.
So now what? What's Stin?
What?
Nothing.
Oh, you messed me up. Dead from lack addiction.
Yeah.
Dead from lack of diction? What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm so confused. Okay.
You didn't know
Well-
much words, so you done died.
The Pint. I kind of love The Pint as a name for a river. It makes me happy.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Is that what they named it?
Yep.
I mean, right next to the gate, right below where you put Sten.
Oh yeah, the pint.
Are we at are we at an entry point where we're gonna get inspected?
No, you wouldn't really get inspected. I mean, even if you did, so far as I know, you don't have anything that would get you in trouble.
Okay. Just curious, because it is a port town. Usually they have like some kind of checkpoint.
Yeah,
My biggest question is, who the fuck thought it was a good idea to put the castle here? What exactly is this moat doing?
See, they were playing Age of Empires 2 and they didn't know how to build their walls, so and they kind of ran out of stone.
What if this is I don't know.
It's that wololo, you know, it gets in your mind.
Yeah. I will say, rather than being like a fort or a castle or anything, that would probably be more like a place where like leftover things that don't get sold immediately off the boat end up going to be like processed and handled and stuff before they ended up making their way to the capital to be sold there. So that's what we're going to call that.
Okay.
I like you crossed up name. Oh god. Okay. Now what?
Well, I messed up that really badly.
No, I can't actually just. Oh wait, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that.
The hell?
You want me to delete the other half of it?
Nah.
Okay.
Should be able to. There we
This would
go.
not be the same. This would not be the same campaign without you, Nate. Okay. So you have arrived in city. There are things to do in city. What
have
do?
accent.
I always have accent. You just never hear it before.
Alright.
What do you
Go to the docks. Let's
Just go
clear
and-
up the top. Just
Well,
go
I
straight
wanted
to the
to see
docks.
Brownell.
Okay. Yeah, you would.
There's
Being
some
kind
docks.
of mid late day, sort of like it's still. Yeah, just kind of. Let's see. Yeah, you'd be pushing evening, I guess.
What time did we leave the? Oh, it was around lunchtime, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it probably would have been like around 2 or so when you left, and so give it about like 4 hours travel time or so, you'd get here like evening. Yeah, that works. Okay. Okay, so y'all would have made it here like close to evening. So you get here, and as you approach the docks, it would. Okay, I guess I should actually like rewind then. The streets definitely are usually really busy. At this point, a lot of the major shops would be like closing up. Several of them would still be open with some pretty good goods. A lot of those probably would end up being like either like the really, really high end things that people simply can't buy, or a lot of the low end common stuff that people just don't really see as a particular opportunity that they would rather get more cheaply from somewhere else. After it's been like processed and stuff. So yeah. I think that a lot of the places that would be open and intending to stay open would probably be like the hungry for gold merchants that are like trying to get by with a lot of their higher end stuff. A lot of the people that are working the ports, there'd only be like a few ships that would really be coming in for the evening. Several of them would have already headed out. A couple of them still would be making their way out, like kind of probably behind schedule a little bit. And some yet beyond that would also be just kind of staying in for the evening and such. Yeah, okay. All right, so yeah, y'all make your way to the port, and you would see a share of people moving about, working and such. It'd be getting to a point where they'd be kind of lollygagging and stuff a little bit. So, yeah.
Well, we try to find the dock master and try to ask him some questions about the ship Phoenix.
God damn! How far did this jester go?
He's been a few places.
Apparently.
Slowly
We're
catching
getting
up, it
sent to the
seems.
Shadow Realm.
Swear to God, that's where we're going to be going after the end of this.
Actually, on a somewhat relevant note, does anybody remember what the crime lord said that the jester had told him?
God damn, no.
Sadly, no, it's been too long.
Yeah. I will refresh everyone's memory of that because it's relevant to the conversation is mostly the thing. The thing that he said there was, "I've come to see you because it's the farthest." Oh, wait, nope, that's not the right one. The furthest from here is the farthest from there, and I need to go all the way there. That's halfway to here.
Rings a bell
So in
now
terms-
you've said it, but otherwise I wouldn't have remembered.
Okay, so you're looking for the dockmaster, like with the intention of trying to find the Phoenix, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just realized I never actually went back and uploaded the second one of these.
Nope, you didn't. That's okay. It'll
'Cause
happen
it was
eventually.
tanking the internet. I'll let that one go up later before I go to bed, so we can just do it at night.
Okay.
That's what I intended to do.
We've had an incredibly small amount of dice rolling tonight. Y'all give me like anybody interested in participating in tracking down the lead dude.
Dockmaster?
Dockmaster, that's the word. The
And
Dockmaster.
that would
Go ahead.
be
Investigation. Yeah.
Dockmaster J.
I'm rolling for
Hey.
investigation. Hey, that's a high roll for the first time.
It
I
is.
know, right?
Okay, come on.
Too bad I don't get them on combat rolls.
Investigation.
Certainly hope you do end up getting that.
Hey!
Go gadget dice roll.
I
Okay.
win.
Up.
All right. So yeah, while you go up and ask like a small group of ship workers, ship hands. That's the word. While you go up, Azrael, while you go up and ask a small handful of ship hands if they can tell you anything about where the dockmaster would be, Olbert has the bright idea to step aside and just like, I assume, attempt to coerce someone somehow or another into telling him just straight up where the Phoenix is.
Threatens him with burning hands, probably.
I'll have that prepared on the sidelines.
Of course
you
will.
could always just do the subtle approach and say you'll break their legs, but
Tell me where the Phoenix is, or I'll break your legs.
Seems so much more less impersonable than threatening to set them on fire.
But yeah,
just
you
nice
would
guy things.
you would get some information about where the dockmaster would be. Let's see. It would kind of. I like this being called North Dock, so we're doing that.
Oh
It
my
would
gosh.
direct you towards like one of the warehouses further into North Dock. Say after you cross that bridge over here, it'd be the third one on your right. It would be where you'd find the dockmaster.
Like this tiny little nub? Or the building?
Do what?
Wait, after we cross the bridge.
The bridge right here.
Okay.
See the little thing crossing the water.
I
So then,
assume this.
yeah, it
That's
would be
the
the
one on the right.
yeah.
That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, I'm looking at that too.
Yeah, after you cross the bridge, third warehouse on the right. Olbert, meanwhile, delete that.
Yeah, I forgot I had it on the mark and not the arrow to move the things.
Yeah. But yeah, and Olbert would meanwhile find out that the Phoenix stays docked at the northernmost pier in North Dock.
All right.
And also that it is in port at the time.
Ooh, neat.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go to the ship.
Okay.
And because I failed so bad, I ended
later.
up spending that time just like cheering on a fisherman.
Hey, you go fucking spear that tuna.
Ooh.
Euphemism. Time's got it. So proud of you.
I mean, I specifically remembered the Team 4-star scenes with pounding the tuna. Who has been spreading rumors that I have been forcing Gohan to, and I quote, pound my tuna? Listen, Chi-Chi, if it bothers you that much, we can all take turns pounding your tuna.
But
But
after we get to eat it first.
only if we get to eat it together. That was a good Roshi laugh. Holy shit.
Big, fetch my laptop. We're gonna buy us a submarine. All right, but we're not naming it after your dick. Bitch, I'm buying it. I'm naming it.
That's a really good Roshi.
Yeah, it is.
I will get you all to the pier in just a second. I gotta pee.
Ditto, actually. Be right back.
I guess we're all gonna take a piss together.
Nope.
All right. Now what? Is there a market around here?
Mm. I think I'm gonna go grab some peanut butter crackers.
Everyone went to take a restroom break?
Yeah, except for me, and also you.
What time is it?
1:12.
Well, the store, besides Walmart, everything's closed around this time. I wonder what Taco Bell's open, but I'm not going there.
Why not? Every time you go there, they give you a free side of intestinal distress.
Dude, Nate, I want to make sure I miss more days out of work. What else is open on the Taco Bell? There's that 24-hour Subway, 15 minutes from here. Nah, I don't want to do that.
Bit of a ways to go.
Yeah,
Do you just not have food in your house?
I do, but I don't feel like cooking right now
Fair enough.
at this hour.
Let's see here. Cheesy
And so I return.
Did you wash your hands?
Nope.
Oh god.
He just looks
Wild
clean.
magic. I've got to be wild.
Well, need to maybe find something to splice into this section of nothing when I edit this.
Start playing Benny Hill music.
Nothing is happening, so here comes some yakety sacks for basically no reason. Probably do the pixel poker, whatever that song's called that I've used a few times.
I'm so glad that I just went to go get some cookies.
It's a cloud
Lucky
song.
you! I'm still trying to decide what time is it? What's open at this
It's
hour?
1:15. I told you.
Yeah, no.
All right,
At least
I'm
for you.
back.
About time, jeez.
Oh, I'm sorry, but someone decided to leave like half the lights on downstairs.
Oh,
Well, at least they didn't leave the oven on like I did.
sounds like you live with my grandma
Oh.
and grandpa.
Sorry,
That could have been
stove.
real bad.
Yeah. Wanted to stir fry some chicken, not the house.
What kind of stove is it? Is it gas powered?
It's electric.
Okay. Still not great to leave on, but
Yeah.
Nope.
slightly less so.
Quick, someone be retarded and throw water on electric fire.
Okay. Although electric fires are fun, I do love oil spills on the water and lighting it.
Those are pretty rad.
Because all that happens is the oil burns up and doesn't do anything with the water.
No.
Because the oil sits on top of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Science.
Good job, Jen. I'm glad you still remember density from chemistry.
It was the only thing I fucking understood because it was simple. Everything else just went in one ear out the other because she refused to actually teach the subject properly. You could write down the same fucking equation, give the same answer, 100%, the way she had it on the board. Still, somehow she would say that's wrong.
Remember, I had a really chill math teacher that whenever it was time to do our work, he would always say, "Let's make it math."
God damn, those people suck.
Nah, he was actually a cool dude. He was very chill.
Let's make it math.
Let's make it math. Because you're doing math, I guess?
Anyway,
I
what do we
do
do?
anything I'm doing.
I wonder if he's in that.
There's a restaurant that I never knew of near me called Best Damn Nachos. It's one.
That's it. I'm saving up enough money to see you in Texas.
Best. How long has it been here?
and then we're going there.
Good.
That's the first thing I'll do when I get to Texas and see you and CJ. All right, guys, we're gonna go to Best Damn
Damn
Nachos.
nachos. Oh god.
Whoa, that's really loud.
Whataburger's open. Oh, Jack in the Box is still open.
I love Whataburger.
It's
I'm
pretty
glad
good.
someone here agrees me with that. Thank you.
I don't
I
think
can't say
we have
anything.
any.
Actually, I could check.
Let's see.
I think I'll just go to Whataburger.
Yeah, I fucking love Whataburger. The either
Just
the
gotta
like
see.
barbecue burger or the chop house cheddar. Both of them are top tier.
Oh,
Oh god, I forgot how terrible this food looked.
I like customizing the hell out of a chicken sandwich to the point that it's basically unrecognizable from the regular chicken sandwich.
679 locations in Texas.
yeah, it's a southern
33 in
thing.
Oklahoma.
Oops.
11 in New Mexico, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, Arkansas, Arizona, and Alabama.
Oh, okay.
So sadly,
Cleardale?
they are not in. There's none near you or me.
They're pretty much a southern franchise.
Yeah, they're really good though.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, and
remember when Hardee's or Carl's Jr. used to be good? That's Whataburger.
I mean,
You're laughing because you know I'm right.
I like to say that Whataburger fries are like, what if McDonald's had good fries?
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
I will say, like, when it comes to fries, I will go to Chick-fil-A for the waffle fries.
Chick-fil-A has some good fries. I think if
Yeah.
I'm going exclusively for fries, it's Arby's.
Really? I need to check those out.
It's hard to argue with like really good curly fries.
sweet
Oh.
and spicy bacon burger. That looks really good.
Especially when you can get those curly fries loaded.
Mm.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What? You've
Sorry,
never heard of
that's-
loaded
no,
curly
I'm-
fries? Oh.
Something else.
Oh, okay. Just appropriately timed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are we officially off the rails, by the way, or do we want to continue once we get off of our tangents?
Oh no, I'm good.
Yeah, let's
I'm
continue.
used to
Yeah, I was just
things
deciding,
off the
like,
rails.
later if what I was going to get.
Oh, he is in that video. Neat.
I have to wish Mel a happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Mel. Happy birthday to Mel. Happy birthday to Mel. Happy birthday to Mel.
I need to take my medication because my ears are bleeding again. Oh no, don't look into it. It's just I forgot to take my meds.
Schmidt, in my video. That's
So,
awesome.
Nate, I need you to cut out that part where, starting with where Jen said, "I need to tell Mel happy birthday," and ending with where Higgs said, "My ears are bleeding," so that you get that to tell him.
Oh, be great.
Oh.
Okay.
Between the lines. Read between the
And ironically enough, Dime, she's the one that sent me that.
Sent you what?
She's the one that sent me that meme.
What the thing you shared with me
Yes.
earlier? Oh, okay.
It's almost like she knew we were having our session.
Have you not told her that you play D&D with us?
Yes, I do. I
Oh.
also noticed that Bobby almost died.
Hello.
Oh boy. Alright, let's continue.
Okay.
She also knows all of you. Only by name.
Oh.
Except for Higgs, because I don't actually know his real name.
No one will know my real name.
It's a plot twist. His real name is actually Higure.
I'll never tell. I'll never tell.
I just always kind of assume that.
I'll never tell.
I don't think he actually says, let's make it math, because I had to cut that out before class started. Now I am sad.
Sad day. Okay. But yeah, so y'all make your way up to the dock where the Phoenix is docked.
Here.
As you would get there, you would see that Phoenix is written on the boat, and it's spelled Fenix.
Okay. Sounds about right.
In Taro Adun.
What?
That's never mind. Nobody gets it. I'm not gonna bother.
That's a heartbreaking moment. Right
All right, you just went like a 20 on the nerd scale. I'm gonna have to tell you to bring it down to like a 7, maybe a fucking 6. Okay.
Oh. I'm enjoying the backwards E. Anyways,
Oh, I wonder if his brother's boat is fucking docked here, Jesus.
Oh, God.
his
Higgs is the only one that got it.
It's too early for this.
No, it's not.
Alright.
It's late.
Okay. Yeah, I'm working all over the docks and stuff. There's various people that are just kind of at a fairly leisurely pace, moving about, getting things on and off of the boat. So preparing for a voyage that presumably will be happening the following day with the pace that they're working at. Certainly not anytime soon. Varying races. Overseeing it, though, there seems to be a half-orc overwatching much of what's going on, and like directing things.
I walk up to the half orc and I introduce myself. And I ask him, has he seen a jester in red clothing speaking in riddles on this boat?
Oh yeah, I've seen him. Not on the boat though. He would have introduced himself as Bully in response to your introduction of yourself. He spoke to him just over a week prior. And let's see. Yeah, he didn't really. Speaking of riddles, though, he did seem to have one with him. It's stuck in my head for the past week. I don't really understand what's going on with it, though. What he said to me, though, was, "I've come to see you because it's the farthest in the wrong direction I can go without drowning. How can I know what is right without exploring what's wrong?"
Eh.
I swear to God, if we have to go to some fucking Ocarina of Time water temple, I'm gonna fucking shit bricks.
You're in luck. I love the water temple.
Me
so
too.
I'll deal with it.
Me too.
It
I
comes
hated
down-
the spirit temple.
Oh, agreed. No, fuck that place.
I like the Spirit Temple.
Isn't that the Dark Temple?
I think the Shadow Temple was probably like the
No,
only one that
The
really did.
Shadow Temple was literally the easiest.
Yeah.
There
That
is
was-
no contest.
That was the one that didn't jive with me. It was also the only place that I got stuck because there was a key that was arbitrarily hidden under a pile of dirt.
Oh, yeah, that one you have to bomb.
Uh-huh.
And that's the only time you ever have to do anything like that in the entire game.
Uh-huh.
That
I
and
mean,
the redead.
There's other times where you can do that and get stuff from it, but that's the only time that you have to.
And that mini boss.
I mean, the mini boss was fine. Literally everything in that dungeon was fine, except that there was one thing that was really just random and dumb.
I mean, say that
hand
to
is
an
fine.
11-year-old Jen. That shit was nightmare fuel.
I think I
Oh,
had seen
God.
enough stuff by them, and it wasn't nightmare fuel.
I
When did that
remember,
come out?
like,
98?
Hell if I
90
remember.
I think it was 98, yeah. Because Mario 64 was that Mario 64 95 or 96? Fuck it.
I think it was 95.
When did Ocarina of
96.
Time come out? 1998. There we go.
Okay.
98.
Would have been 10-year-old me, I guess. Depending on when exactly in the year it was.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, though,
And Super Mario 64 is 1996.
yeah. It was made 2 whole years before this clunky piece of crap you worship so much.
Fuck you.
Majora's Mask was better.
All right, we're going about
mean-
fucking throw hands. I hate Majora's Mask.
Wait,
That's
why?
fair.
But it loves you.
I can get why people don't like it, but it's my favorite Zelda. But definitely
It's
has
certainly-
some issues.
It's certainly not my favorite Zelda. I wasn't actually able to enjoy it until I discovered the Link is Dead theory.
3DS
But
version is a little better. Not quite as much waiting around, but
Except they fucking ruined the Zora swimming.
yeah, a little bit.
Wait, in the 3D version. I hadn't played the
Mm-hmm.
3D version, so I don't know what happened to the Zora swimming. Because the Zora swimming was rad in the original.
Yeah, it's pretty awful in the 3DS remake.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
You can get used to it, but I'm not. It's not super great initially, no.
yeah.
Anyway,
Bully stands there completely confused about all this talk of Zelda and temples and.
What?
Listen,
You
just
seem to have
don't
been-
fucking worry about it. We're somehow merging with an alternate universe. Just don't fucking worry about it, okay?
Seems to
Okay.
happen from time to time. Almost
Wait,
as if there's
is it
some other
Baron
version
Stain
of
Bears
us.
or Baron Stein Bears here? I need to know.
Listen, shut, Margaret, shut up. Go over there and look at the pears, okay? Look at the pears.
Pears? I want
Oh
some
god,
pears.
what is happening?
Oliver, don't touch the pears. Go over with Margaret and look at the pears.
I've got
Look
money.
at them. No, shut up. Look at the pears.
I've got money. I could buy pears.
Shut up.
What the fuck is happening right now?
You can't buy anything from them.
But
I wonder if the dock is deep enough where I can drown him.
Look, I will turn
Got
this fucking
pears.
adventure around, goddammit. You go right back to Torgrin and I will tell the king, look, we are a bunch of inept monkeys. I don't even want to be a part of this investigation anymore. Your jester's fucked. I'm leaving. Sorry, but it looks like you're gonna have to wait until I can fucking call in the favor again some other time.
What the hell is going on?
I'm trying to drown
Pears,
myself right
apparently.
now.
I'm giving you crazy.
I'm buying each. I don't care what you say. I'm just gonna. They're only 1 gold each this pair, so I'm just gonna.
This thing is falling
do
apart.
I'm gonna add.
Oh god.
Is this the part where we just abandon ship and just remember that we were last talking to Bully?
This is a peach. Now I have
Or-
a peach in my
I
inventory
mean,
that I can eat at some point.
Why is Nate ransacking the stock house?
Hey, I'm buying a peach. I bought a peach. It is
How
in my
much
bag
was
now.
that peach?
It was 1 gold. That is
Why
what
is
I
a
offered the
peach so
guide, and
Why
he
is it
said
so
okay.
expensive?
So it's
Why
fine.
is a peach 1 gold? Why is it so expensive? What's inside
Hold
it? Is
on,
a
the
pit
energy
made out
was
of
coming
crystals
out.
or something?
I forgot to ask the price. I just said, here's a gold. I am taking a peach. And the guy was like, okay. So here we are. I have a
We are
peach.
gonna go broke because of name.
It's my own money, you doof. Get on my back. You're not my mom.
So,
I might as well be.
we were talking about a ship, Phoenix.
Yeah.
You're the one who mentioned peaches. It's your fault.
Why did someone put an E backwards in Phoenix? And why is Phoenix misspelled?
Well, Phoenix is misspelled because that's the way it's spelled on the ship.
Okay, Chip, Bully, alternate universe selves, get the fuck out of here. Jester,
I seem fine now.
Riddle,
Yeah.
still
So,
cryptic bullshit.
yeah.
Moving on.
Come to see you because it's the farthest in the wrong direction I can go without drowning, and how can I know what is right without exploring what's wrong? Is what he had been told. I've written down all the other ones. I may as well write this one down too, right?
Yes, because we will not fucking remember it.
So does he not know how to swim, or?
I don't fucking know. I'm supposed to know this fucking kid. Even I don't know if he swims or not.
Does he have to do
that's just sunk like a
everything
brick.
in these riddles? Ugh.
Well, I mean, if he could.
Yes, yes, he
swim.
does. Because that's how he was fucking raised. Because the king loves.
I guess
He
if,
just loves his cryptic bullshit.
guess if
Yeah,
he
your
king's
kind of
swam.
And I've known the king for fucking a number of years.
Okay.
5 years. Oh
So
wait, no, that's only one.
I realize it's a stretch, but let's try and take a look at what he said, okay? I've come to see you because it's the farthest in the wrong direction I can go without drowning. And how can I know what is the right without exploring what's wrong? If he's trying to go somewhere that's wrong, that means that he, without drowning, he definitely took this ship and went somewhere. The question is, where did he go?
To reiterate, the bully did actually specify that the jester did not get on there, and this guy is. I should have also mentioned, like in his introduction, he would have probably told you that he was the first mate of the ship, so he would know if somebody that he's familiar with and fond of was on the ship.
Well, if it's furthest in
If
the
they
wrong
wanted
direction,
to let you know, who's
What'd
to
you
say he didn't stow away?
if he went furthest in the wrong direction, maybe that means that he's going to go the other direction, like west, I guess. I don't know. Throwing out guesses, trying to figure it out.
I don't know. My money's still on him having snuck aboard the ship at this point. Unless somebody can present a better idea.
Well,
I'm still trying to think about that myself.
Bully kind of
how can he
shrugs.
know
He's,
what is right without, exploring the wrong? Like,
Exactly.
wrong
Because he needs to
direction.
explore the wrong direction,
So,
and this is the farthest he can go in the wrong direction without drowning, means that he, somehow or another, continued in this direction, either crossed the sea, on a different ship, something. Unless he's being a lot more literal than I'm trying to understand here, and literally just means, oh, I hit the edge of the water. That just means I need to go north instead of south or west or east or something. But I don't fucking know what this jester is thinking. I'm just throwing ideas out here. I read, okay? I read a lot. I'm used to thinking deep. Maybe he's a dumb jester.
This
I don't know.
guy's just too high on fucking skooma.
Bully would chime in. It's like, I don't know about the jester being dumb. He never seemed like it to me, but if he stowed away, there's any number of places he could have ended up. We made our rounds take us to 6 different stops. It would. Oof, I have no idea how you would even begin to track down a stowaway if he had managed to do that.
the ocean of Wada is pretty big.
Well, he's dead. I'm going home.
Higgs already made his fucking ransom money in the fucking gold armor that he smelled.
I tell you what, since you're somewhat fond of the jester, right?
Hmm.
How long is the ship going to be in port?
Till morning.
Would you mind terribly, and you can escort us, of course, if we took a look? Maybe there's a chance that maybe a scrap of clothing, something got pinched in a board. There's a
Sure.
chance that if we just kind of do a quick once-over, maybe one of us will be lucky enough to stumble across something.
Yeah, he'd agree to it.
Investigation is afoot.
Yeah. So I assume that you would want to start immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since you do have until morning, he would make it clear that honestly you can take your time as pretty much as you like. So if you were inclined to take an extended amount of time with this, as opposed to giving it a once over, I don't mind giving like a collective roll of investigation at advantage. If you do just want to give it a once over, then I would just say investigation just regular.
Nah, I'll probably
Margaret would
take our
push
time.
for it. Yeah, Margaret would push for a thorough investigation because, as far as she's concerned, this is the best lead that we got.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I would have. That's what I was about to say as well.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, yeah, collective investigation checks at advantage. And
This advantage is sure. Oh, there we go.
advantage matters. You got one coming, Albert. Pigs.
Didn't he already do it? Or no, that's perception.
No, that was perception.
Which looks like it was probably a misclick. I don't know.
I am looking. There it is.
Yep.
Make sure to roll advantage.
Yep.
I don't want to. Oh shit! Again?
Okay. Y'all give it a pretty solid look over. Y'all are taking time looking. He helps you with several of the boxes, getting them open. Like he assures you that pretty much all the boxes on there definitely have not been there for a week, and they would have been put there like within the past few hours. But he still wouldn't have any objections even to opening several of them. As you're going through, really, as far as you can tell, like the extent of dirtiness on there is just that it's a well-used cargo boat. You check you check like the kitchen, mess hall, like the like several corners. You get a good look in several of the bunk areas, storage areas. There doesn't seem to be any real sign of it. Any signs of even red clothing, really. Everybody would just kind of be wearing drab colors, and everything that you're finding in regards to cloth and such matches up to that. If so inclined, Oliver, I know you have detect magic. If you wanted to cast that as a ritual, you would have the time to do so. And I'll go ahead and tell you, if you do that, you would be going through, and the only things that you would find that were magical were very specifically contained in boxes that Bully would have specified. This is
underwear.
Like, this is magic items that are going to some particular location, and perhaps also Olbert's underwear.
He wears that?
Okay.
Well, as we were kind of like finishing up the investigation, Margaret would go, "Well, there goes my idea. I have no fucking idea at this point."
Oh, this fucking jester's starting to drive my goddamn patience. Alright, well. In which direction was he headed away from the boat? Because there's no sign that he's been haunting.
He actually ends up pointing like pretty much straight west. He's like, "There's a dead straight street over there, but it ends in a wall. So I don't know. Maybe Maybe he made some turns along the way, but
Secret
he looked
passage.
very specifically like he was going that direction.
Is there an inn, a tavern, anything notable on that side of town? Maybe you had dinner with him?
Oh,
Anyone that you know he's talked to within the last week that he's been here.
well, I was really busy that particular day, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to spend with him, so I definitely didn't go to eat anything with him. There are inns and taverns and things down there, but he's never been one to stick around. He just comes by, visits the people, and then moves on. Usually he heads back to the kingdom. He never takes that particular direction when he's going.
Okay, well, let's try and think about this. If he's taking a direction he doesn't normally take, or wouldn't normally take, what does that have to do with the coming, going, whatever the fuck it was he said?
It honestly sounds like to me he's playing a game.
Would you like to play a game?
Wouldn't it be something, Margaret would say, she kind of like holds her head in one of her hands, if he ends up back at the fucking castle before we do? This is some grandiose roundabout walkabout adventure he was having?
Like some kind of yearly migration he does.
But then they would have known about it.
Uh,
Because he would have done it before.
yeah, but the king is old and senile. Now what?
Hmm.
Dimes is typing something.
Hmm?
I'm
That is-
basically just compiling the things that he's told people, like his little riddle things. 'Cause it seems like nobody kept track of that, so I'd like for y'all to have record of it in case you want to reference it. So I want it all in.
When we find this jester, I'm going to kill him.
Please
Kind of
don't.
That's
defeats
if I
the purpose
break.
of finding him, right?
We get less money
Yeah.
that way. You're the one that wants all of the money, so maybe don't.
I mean,
Though I'm a bard, so what do I know?
Even this jester, and I know him, is driving me up the wall. So if Higgs doesn't outright
Yes.
kill him, I will make sure I break his leg. So that way he doesn't pull this shit again.
he's still gonna manage to find a way.
I could always use sleep on him and then you could break his legs. That way we can say it was an accident. Wink,
It was
wink,
gravity.
nudge, nudge.
I pushed him off a fucking edge of a mountain.
Slip of the wrist.
But you pushed him off the edge. Nah, it was gravity.
Yeah, we'll let Oliver go with him just to see if he's dead. Push him off too. Make it look like an accident.
And then Oliver does a face that's basically this.
Let's see. Uh-oh.
SpaghettiOs.
God damn it, Dimes. Fucking reading my mind. I just see Vince staring into my soul.
Those are the riddles and who and where you got them.
I'm a Frodis in a text file.
I was a text file once.
I mean, your parents did have to sign a form of consent with each other.
Uh,
He made your joke fucking true.
No, I think we broke Jen.
Oh God.
We broke Jen.
Oh. Oh.
All right, so we're looking around the storehouse. Now what?
Well, there's only
Wait,
one direction. There's only one other thing to do, and that's head west.
Go west, life is peaceful.
West.
He's dead.
Insert
We don't
that
talk about
song
that.
from Five Goes West here.
Oh God. All right, so west of the city or west outside the city?
West of the city,
Should go
because all
check
that
out that
happens
wall.
is it ends up at a wall in this fucking city. Or he could have just left and head west, which somehow goes through a fucking castle, and then through
He'd have to go a little north
whatever the fuck knows.
first.
Yeah,
Also,
but we
that's
don't
not a
fucking know.
castle,
This
that's
guy.
storage.
Mm.
Oh man. I just had an idea that if I had done it, would have made me a colossal asshole. I'm not doing it. Absolutely not doing it. 100%
I mean,
guarantee it
what
is not
else
a
is
thing that
new?
I'm doing.
What
But yeah.
else is new? Just kidding.
How to know that your TM is an asshole? Number one.
I mean, we could check the storage castle, whatever that place is.
But why would he have any business over there?
And from what I see, it looks like there's
I don't know.
no way to get over there.
There's a small bridge.
Yeah, there's a
Is
little
there?
bridge.
By the watchtower.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
kind of
by the
goes where the gate,
I
where
thought
the
that
wall
was-
is. It kind of goes up and then left.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that was just part of the wall.
Nope.
That's like a
I didn't even notice that was a fucking bridge.
Yeah, right there.
I thought it was just part of the wall. I was going with my fucking joke. It's like, oh, well, they were just playing Age of Empires and they thought this is how walls work.
Oh god.
Fucking wololo. Fucking RTS nerd over here.
Yeah,
Well, the
did
other
not
side.
get my Phoenix joke earlier.
You know what? You shut your fucking mouth.
uh,
Hmm.
so
Check the wall. Check
Yeah.
the wall. Maybe go check the wall.
I mean, if you
Bully
want to go around knocking on every wall in the city, be my guest.
Well, no, the west one. That Boatsman McGee talked about. Which I guess would be like here. Maybe even here. In that little whatever that
One of these
is.
watchtowers have been bound to. I mean, what are the odds that the jester was running through the forest? The watchtowers are probably going to have some kind of information near the main gate.
Would have had to pass through some of those.
They're all
God
like
only
two-
knows.
So you could
The
probably
head.
ask it at Stars Gate and then North Gate. In case he went through both.
Farthest in the wrong direction I can go without drowning. And how can I know what is right without exploring what is wrong?
I've never been good with logic puzzles. Your guess is as
Uh,
good as mine.
I don't really think that's a logic puzzle, though.
No, but Margaret is still saying that.
Eh,
was about to ask, but I was suspecting that was both in and out of character.
Decent at them, but
Man, why couldn't this just be fucking a Resident Evil puzzle? Just switch a couple emblems and open up a secret passage. So get a fucking secret. I don't know. It's gotta be a goddamn logic puzzle. I didn't know I was fucking role playing Silent Hill. Are you gonna fucking tell me to start playing some fucking keys in order to be able to do a song?
I mean, I don't plan on it.
With some fucking birds?
puzzle difficulty maximum.
It's the only way to play it. Though I think I've got all the answers to those written down on that notebook. Along with like 3 prior pages of attempting to figure out what the hell they're on about.
Really didn't expect this to be a stumper.
I mean, I
You
say
have
go
the
west,
answer.
but that's me. That's just what I'm gonna say. Just let's go. Go
Yeah,
to the
no,
wall.
it's like, I don't have any idea. Sure, West. What? Okay, sure.
It's our only fucking option right now. It's either we go west or we fumble about in the city trying to question everyone and end up back at square one.
Did we ask Bully if the Jester knew anybody else in this city?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Oh,
Like, is there anyone else that he would have talked to? Anyone that he knows?
And he didn't know because he was busy that day.
yeah, he was really busy that day, but I mean, pretty much like what you already know is like just about everybody is familiar with the Jester and fond of him. Yeah.
Just
So
need someone fucking specific. Just someone fucking specific. I don't need everyone.
Look at the wall. Talk to the watchtower dudes.
Look, if the wall starts talking to me like fucking the
I mean, not talk at the wall. Talk at the watchtower dudes after we like knock on the wall, see if there's some weird secret passage or something. I don't know.
We might
Well-
still also want to try, and if he didn't stay over, he probably at the very least stop by a place to get something to eat. Maybe one of the eateries in this direction?
well, maybe there was also a couple inns. He might have stayed the night. Let's check up on those leads, and then if nothing else fails, we'll go to the castle. If that fails, well, while we go to the castle, we'll talk to the watchtower guys, see if they've seen anything out of the ordinary. Then go to the castle. If not, fucking talk to the, I don't know, the head honcho of this city. Mayor, constable, something.
Fair enough. Shall we split up?
Sure. I will check
All
the
right.
wall.
Higgs and Oliver, you two go. Margaret,
No.
you're with me.
No,
Aye.
we're splitting up.
It'll be fine.
No.
Always have to act like an idiot. Can be serious if I want.
okay, so y'all are splitting up. In that case, where's the? Oh, there. Okay.
I figure we'll go check the walls for anything suspicious and then talk to like these guard towery dudes.
Okay. Higgs, Nate, one of you call dibs on being leader for your team.
I call William.
Okay.
No. I'll just follow Nate.
Okay.
Too late. You already called it.
I'm following
I'll
Nate.
do it.
I mean, it's really just to pick an icon. Oh, well, okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so you're just going straight to the wall. Okay, what are you? Okay, yeah. What is
First wall,
everybody do?
then these
Okay.
guys.
So those are your destinations. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All
Uh,
right. One thing in transit. If you were following the directions like exactly as you were given them, you actually would have like taken this like completely straight road that goes over to like right here. Yeah, so that's like if you're trying to retrace the jester's footsteps, that's about where you would have ended up. But yeah, as you start down this road, probably about like right there, a gentleman, well, gentleman's probably generous considering how tattered a lot of what he seems to be wearing appears to be. He kind of steps out of an alley towards you. There is no good spot that's on the road. There we go. I did a half spot. Okay. But yeah, a guy steps out of an alleyway, out towards you, and as you're just kind of walking by, you just kind of hear, "Hey, hey, do you spice?" And he seems to be kind of like tugging at the side of his jacket, almost nervously, and in his other hand, he's got like two small stones that he's
stranger danger, stranger danger.
two small stones in his left hand that are he's just kind of rolling against each other.
Oh, not this
Okay.
guys. This guys.
Okay, well, I probably ask what are you up to exactly? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I was expecting him to come out of there and just go like, "What are you buying?"
Why, yes, I happen to be a spy. Please allow me to tell you all of this juicy information that I just happen to have handy.
I will do this before I ask.
Let's see. Okay.
Zone of truth.
All right. One.
Keep in mind, since this has a verbal component, if this guy's familiar at all with magic, he may know what you're doing.
True, but if he doesn't have anything to hide, probably doesn't matter a
mean,
Did
whole
he
lot.
not just say, "Are you spies"?
And he just came out of the alleyway.
What's
What
that?
makes him less suspicious?
I'm in the lead though, and it's hard to tell if that was Higgs in character or if he just being Higgs. Or
Both.
Ulfbert. Either way, if he doesn't have anything to hide, he would probably, even if he knows what it is, he probably wouldn't freak out too badly.
That's right. I didn't actually start on that yet. Oops. Okay.
Well,
right.
Dimes, what an asshole.
I know, right? Okay. Okay, but yeah, charisma saving throw. That's fine. How do we do? Oh, okay, your DC for it is what, 13, I'm guessing?
Let me see.
It'll be based on your charisma, which I think is 16.
If the page will load. There we go. Core. Yeah, 16.
It is 13.
16.
Oh, your charisma is 16. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 8 plus your proficiency modifier plus your charisma modifier,
Okay.
which is going to be 3. So
3.
yeah, it's 13. So 13. Okay. Let's see. So you're aware of. Let's see whether you know whether. Okay. Yeah. So he does succeed on it, and he just kind of smirks at you. He's like, I ain't got nothing to hide. Ain't nobody gonna do anything about it here anyway. And as he says that, he kind of his left hand dips back a little bit, and his right hand slides into the slides inside the left side of his jacket, and he pulls out, or he starts to pull out what appears to be a very small pouch with a ground up substance inside of it.
Crack.
Actually, either or both of you, give me nature checks.
Come on, Higgs. I put money on black. No, I'm putting on red this time.
Just for normal roll?
Yeah, just normal roll. Normal roll for nature. Oh,
Hell yeah. All right, Nate, your turn.
are you rolling or not? Yep. Okay.
Maybe.
Nate, you would continue to be fairly unfamiliar with it. Shit. Somebody actually. No, wait. That was the. That's right. You had actually said the Elder Scrolls drug, not the D&D one. But you would actually identify. So far as you can tell, Nate, it appears to probably be like some kind of. It may very well just be some kind of mundane spice. Higgs would, or Albert rather, would identify it as a bit of an
The
intoxicant.
spice melange.
We are not in
Ecstasy
Dune.
cocaine? Or
But
how
yeah.
they asked in Rio, ecstasy cocaine?
It would not be anything like nearly as strong or impactful as cocaine. It would probably be something a little bit more gateway.
Marijuana?
Probably.
LSD, I think.
I'd say like a step or so, like a step or two above where marijuana would be. So I'm not too I'm not too drug knowledgeable either way to really say for sure. But
The way you're describing it sounds like something that's above marijuana, but also has the effects of LSD.
Mushrooms, maybe?
I don't know. Let's
It
just,
sounds like it's something a bit stronger than LSD. Or,
it's a drug. Can we
mushrooms.
go on with it?
Hmm?
It's a drug. Let's just agree to that.
yeah, it's a drug.
Fair enough.
But yeah, since you actually know about that, you would probably also be aware that somebody coming up to you and asking, "Do you spice?" is often a phrase that would be associated with this particular circumstance, and it appears that he is selling, most likely.
Oh, I
Yeah, our
misunderstood what
bard
you
would
said.
like some.
Considering he just probably not. I don't know. I don't think.
What'd you say, Higgs?
He
Yeah,
said
our
the
bard
bard would
wants
just
some.
take it. Bard
One of
isn't
each,
quite
please.
dumb enough to just be like, yeah, random guy I've never met who came out of an alley. I'll take whatever's in that bag.
I'd like 1 drugs, please.
God, I fucking love that line. It's so stupid. It's the best. But yeah, he would flash the bag and just basically be like, "Look, if you're interested, I'm selling. I ain't buying, but I'm selling."
I think I'm good. What about you? Ulfbert. Or Olbert,
There's
or whatever it was.
Albert. Yeah, there's no F.
I could buy it and spike Jen's food. I'm just kidding, no.
So I guess we're still
Hey.
going.
Okay. Let's see. Do what?
Nothing.
Okay.
No thanks, my good man. We will have to decline. We have a wall to investigate.
Oh god.
He makes a face at you, but manages to keep his smile. It's a little bit crooked, but it's a smile nonetheless. And he kind of slides the bag back in, and he backs away. His hand's still kind of moving to shift the rocks around in his hand a little bit. And as he dips back into the alleyway.
Does this guy have any significance? Or is he just
Part of me
part
thinks
of...
so. The
Yeah,
other part of
or
me
is he
is
just...
like, maybe it's just a distraction. But that's me thinking, and not Oliver thinking.
And thus we begin to understand the significance of metagaming
Oh, boy.
and why you shouldn't do it.
Because
Okay.
drugs are bad for you kids.
Drugs are bad, okay?
And I do want to have a brief little interim thing. Guess that, like, I'm guessing like the route that y'all would probably want to take to get there probably be something like this
Yep.
ish. Okay. As y'all are passing through, you'd be going through, and as you're going through past various shops that are working on closing down, you would see one of them where somebody who appears to be fairly well off is trying to wrestle an item back from somebody who seems significantly less well off. And a shopkeeper looking on, simply standing by counting money that he seems to have recently acquired. Also, the build difference between the two people who are wrestling over the item is substantial. And right as you're, well, I think I would call for a perception check on that, actually. Yeah, give me perception, both of you. Okay. Azrael probably wouldn't notice this, but Margaret, you would actually see.
Us.
Correct. Margaret, you would notice the glint of the evening sunlight coming off of metal right next to the at the waist of the man who's the larger man who's looking a bit less well off than the lady. It appears that he is drawing a knife to try to aid his cause in acquiring this item.
Okay. Give me a second here. Okay. If she notices this guy basically reaching for a knife, let me read over this spell real quick. Okay. If Margaret sees this and she has time, what she is going to do is immediately identify like the nearest kind of like blind corner to this dude. She's then going to kind of like allow her spell focus to start to glow. She kind of like moves her hand in that direction as suddenly an ethereal guard rounds this corner with like as he is attempting to draw his sword, and he will shout out in his own voice, "Stop, fiend! Do not unsheath that knife."
Um,
I'm standing back, taking this all in because I'm inept.
investigation. Okay. Okay. 20. He probably wouldn't have a bonus. Okay, in that case, we're gonna do that.
Spell save DC is 13, by the way.
Okay. Wow. He had advantage, and he rolled a 7 and a 4.
Hey.
Okay. He he flinches and freezes, looking over his shoulder at the guy. The lady seems to be kind of staring at him, looking a bit desperately towards this guard. And the guy kind of like, he keeps his knife in his hand and like just is really not wanting to let go of the item. During the course of this, you probably would have enough time to get a decent look at the item. Shit looks valuable. You may not be able to identify exactly what's going on with it, but it does not look mundane. But the seemingly the assailant starts yelling back at this guard. He's like, "All the fucking days for you to do your goddamn job!" And he finally just like lets go of the item and bolts down an alleyway, running away from the guard, taking the shortest route away from the guard, probably trying to like plow between the two of you on his way.
Margaret is okay to let him go. Is Azrael going to do anything?
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I trip him.
Okay. What the fuck would I do for that?
Strength
goodness.
versus athletics, maybe?
I would think. Well, I would think probably just strength versus dexterity. I guess that probably makes sense. Yeah, sure, that'll work. Well, it was going to be just a strength check rather than strength save, but yeah.
Okay. How do I do a strength check? Or no,
If
I
you
would
just-
be.
If you just click on strength,
Okay.
like to the left where your actual stats. Yeah, there you go.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
I am way too
Wow.
fucking tired.
Clearly, your unlucky number.
It's
He,
21, isn't it?
It's 21.
Hey.
Fucking knew it. All right, well, he goes off and does his fucking fat ass whatever.
Yeah, he kind of like stumbles across your leg, spits and cusses at you as well, and keeps running.
Yeah, fuck you too.
So yeah, as this guy basically runs past, Margaret's going to keep the guard there, maybe interact with the lady, ask her how she's doing, kind of like wait, for a little bit, just a little bit, just for the dude to get out of kind of like any sort of visual or auditory range before she allows the illusion to fade. As she kind of walks up to the waitress and asks, "Are you okay? What was What was going on? What was he doing?"
Question: would you be communicating with her through the ethereal guard, or
Since I can't hear from the illusion, I would have the guard just ask her if she was okay. But anything that she would say back to him, I wouldn't understand or know. So when
Okay.
she allows the illusion to fade, she kind of like walks through where the guard was, as a way of saying, "Hey, I did that. What the hell is going on here? I just try. I maybe just saved your life."
Okay. As you watch her interact with your guard, she would kind of seem confused and like kind of in between grateful and bitter. But as you come up to her, she would kind of collect herself. Excuse me, sorry. And turn towards you, and she's like, "Oh, that makes way more sense." And she starts to like put the item into like a small little handbag thing. And she just goes on to explain that she had made a purchase, and someone saw her making the purchase and came out and attacked her. Trying to steal the item because it's valuable. Thought that it'd be easy prey, basically. She does thank you for stepping in.
Yeah, Margaret would give her like a nod and basically say, I mean, it's nothing. I just happened to be here. Luck was on your side. And then kind of pause for a moment and go, this may be a shot in the dark. Are you familiar with the King's Jester?
She would actually say that she is. She hadn't seen him in quite some time, but the last time that she remembers seeing him was maybe a month ago at a bit of a party that that she and her father had been throwing. Um, she would explain that she actually has like a manor back in in Torgren City, and the jester's always welcome there, and often is his presence is actually requested of the king. Um, Explains that her recent requests for him to attend have gone unanswered. She was a little bit worried about that, and she asks why. Is something going on?
Yeah, Margaret would kind of just give her like a brief kind of like 411. Hey,
Mhm.
he's missing. The king sent us out to look for him. You know, we've been to these areas. The best lead we had was seen about a week ago at the pier, and we're just kind of out of ideas at this point. And we just happened to, luckily stumble across you while looking for a place that maybe he ate at or frequented or might have been at when he was here the past week.
Mm. Yeah, she would explain that she doesn't really frequent this city. And it's just she just comes by to shop every now and then. Generally not much more than once a month or so. Um, and so yeah, this was just her time to come by, pick something up, and just shop, and then go home. And she was getting ready to head out, and this was just something that caught her eye on her way out.
At
Um,
that, Margaret would probably ask, out of curiosity, what was it exactly that you purchased? I just barely caught a glimmer of it when I saw what was going on.
she's like, "Oh, this," and she would open the bag. It would appear to be a jeweled egg, probably roughly the size of an ostrich egg. So fairly large, but she would explain that it's just got a small enchantment on it. A small enchantment on it that's just a bit of a divinity spell that allows her to uh, see into very specific places. It's not like she's spying on anyone. It's just a way to view surroundings without having like really be there and stuff.
That's what they all say.
That's what this one says anyway.
Margaret would kind of like scratch her chin for a moment. By chance, and please don't let me impose here by asking this, but would it be possible for us to maybe briefly use the divining powers of that egg just to kind of like maybe quickly scope out the area immediately around us for the jester or anything that might give us some sort of clue? Honestly, anything that we could use to help in our investigation, albeit briefly. And I definitely wouldn't want to, take it out of your view or anything, because I'm sure this was an expensive and interesting purchase.
She agrees that it was a bit of an investment, but and she also apologizes because it is something that actually has to be set up. She would reach over and like one of the jewels that's on the side of it, she would like rub it for a moment and then draw it out, and she would reveal that it's basically like it appears to be a smaller egg, like where the larger one is like almost a golden, like almost like a white gold sort of. This one's just a nice clean like silver color, and she's explains that she needs to set this up in a particular spot, and it allows her to view a small distance around it. It's not really for viewing a large area. She would like perhaps set it up set it up like above a doorway or something, and she would be able to see all of a room just through the egg, and then she would like put the jewel back in there. And so basically it would basically be something of like effectively like a security camera system, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah. So as much as she would like to help you, it's not in the cards.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I want to ask her to do.
No shit.
All right.
Yeah. Trying to stretch and every fucking muscle in my back just decided to lock up on me.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. So at that point, Margaret would probably just thank her for providing the information and being willing to help, even though she's not able to. Just tell her to be safe, and unless Azrael has anything to ask or anything to add, would probably suggest that they continue on.
Why the fuck can I do that?
Besides wanting to beat the fuck out of the fat, pudgy, dumb shit, literally just tells her to be careful and
Okay.
get home safe.
As a small token of her thank you, or a small token of her thanks, she would actually give 2 gold to Margaret, just basically saying thank you for just helping.
Oh yeah. No, Margaret would smile and pat her hand and say, "No, just knowing that I did a little bit of good is enough." Nope, Margaret, stop it. And at that point, she would just
You
bow
do
and say,
care.
"I apologize."
Shut up. Just say you care.
Being all
Azrael.
sing-dory.
Don't take it from a dread knight. Say you
She would-
care.
She would be a bit puzzled from your reaction to it, but would kind of just slow nod and
She cares. Don't worry about it.
oh, I'm sure she does. And I hope you both have a wonderful day and best of luck in your search. And
Too.
she would make her way off. And yeah. Okay. And then yeah, that'll get y'all up there. And I'm seeing it is now 2:30. I think in the interest of having a decent time to wind down and this being a pretty decent stopping point, even though everybody is split up, I think I want to call it there.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Oh,
I was
great.
really thinking about asking her, if her dad was more familiar with the Jester, but it's one of those things I figured kind of went without saying, asking about the Jester anyways, and mentioning that he was missing. So,
Yeah.
And Oliver's gonna get high the spice right here.
The
The
spice
spice.
I did not take.
I had fun.
Spart is
Yay.
not idiot. Just,
Looking forward to blasting people in the near future, but I enjoy the RP heavy session.
Oh god.
Yeah, I need to come up with more combat.
Fucking 21.